Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Night Owl, a show that we do twice a week where we discuss all the latest in pop culture news, TV and movie reviews, gaming news, and just the general conversations of the day. For those who don't know me, I'm Price of Reason, and with me, as always, is my co host, Professor R2. How's it going, Professor?
Doing all right. Been a long day, but that's all right. Had fun earlier this evening, hanging out over on Midnight's Edge after dark, and yeah, Price has been slumming over there with Nick doing his show Toxic Tuesday this evening. They're wrapping things up over there, and then they're going to come join us. Tom and Nick both going to come on over and join the show. So that's going to be fun
Absolutely,
tonight.
yeah. It was such a great kind of experience hanging out and doing that thing. So yeah, I mean, that was the first time that we're all on the stream on Midnight's Edge. Is this stream running? I feel like something is loopy. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Can anybody else hear me? That's the question.
The stream seems to be up on YouTube. It's running on Rumble. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. There was something glitchy here for a second, but if people can see me, then I guess it's okay. And it's running on Rumble as well.
Yeah.
That is good to know. I'll just check to make sure.
Yeah, Mary White says they can see us.
Okay, great.
Razorhead says we're good.
And Davina Duckworth, hopefully she can see us as well. Nice. Yeah, it looks fine. It looks fine. I don't know. There's
Yep.
something strange about the numbers, but I can't really explain it. Just from the interface we're looking at. Maybe it's just strange to me.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to do something naughty, and I'm going to go out and come back. So
No, back
tell a
out and
joke.
come back in. Yeah, tell some jokes. Okay, yeah. Yep. Better?
Still kind of strange.
Yeah, it's still showing me 0 numbers up here. So
I hope it's streaming, but if not, it's
yeah, no, everything's showing up on Rumble and
okay.
on YouTube. So yeah, it's just something going on with the software tonight.
I see. All right. Well, if that's the case, then it's fine. As long as
Whalem 03 is worried he's been shadow banned somehow.
No, I don't think you have.
No, you're good. You're good. We can see you.
All right. Well, I'll just look here. Yeah, I see YouTube and I see the Rumble one. It looks like it's okay. We're not getting any numbers, but it's fine. We'll just trust that it's okay. And yeah, so it's been an interesting day. We started off on Midnight's Edge After Dark, which you were with us. I then made a guest appearance on Nick Weiser's channel, where we watched the movie Crank and talked about it. And now I'm here. It's been quite a big event, I see.
Quite neat.
And I think we're going to get some people from Rumble that are going to be diverted, or I don't know, maybe some people already are from that stream came here. And we should also be expecting, I think Nick and Tom are also supposed to stop by. So that'll be cool once they've wrapped that thing up. And yeah, so a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah. I mean,
you're gone.
it seems like always. Oh no.
Oh no, you've disappeared. This is
OBS has crashed on me. Give me two seconds here.
Something fishy is going on.
OBS is unexpectedly quit. Run normally.
But yeah, I mean, OBS has never crashed on me. Do you know that? At least I don't think it's crashed on me. Anyhow, so I guess today there's a lot of stuff going on with Trump. Oh yeah, Mary White, you said that Rumble was under attack. It could have something to do with that. There just seems to be strange like glitches in our stream. But yeah, I don't know if it has to do with the attack. If you guys can hear us, we'll take that as a positive sign. And I'm going to talk. Either I'm talking to myself or there's a bunch of people listening. One or the other. But I can talk to myself. That's not a problem. And then yeah, so today there was a lot of stuff going on with Trump. First of all, the immigration thing has become a topic that I guess a lot of people are talking about. And for starters, there were a few things. I mean, first of all, this isn't really the kind of illegals that he's looking for necessarily, but we had a situation where that Colombia guy that was doing. Hold on one second. This guy Mahmoud was doing protests at Columbia University. Let me see if I can share this thing. This is going to be a joke because it's like the AP. So it's like, what to know about? Can you even see it here? Well, I don't know what happened to the professor. I hope he's okay. At the end, the whole meet stream is going to be me talking to myself. That's going to be, hey, dead man, how are you? I can see the dead man comment. So there's that. What to know about Mahmoud Khalil, the Colombia protester arrested by ICE and facing deportation. I'm going to look at it, but the AP, I kind of know where they're coming from. So they're going to say that like he helped old ladies cross the street and stuff. Palestinian activist who helped lead protests at Colombia faces deportation after being arrested over the weekend by federal immigration officials. President Donald Trump has warned that the apprehension of Mahmoud Khalil, legal permanent resident, represents the first arrest of many as his administration cracks down on campus opposition to the war in Gaza. But a federal judge temporarily blocked the 30-year-old's expulsion from the country. Now, I want to just clarify because this is very much the AP language of explaining it. I've done some research. First of all, I know that this is a topic that people feel different ways about, but I will say that what I've noticed when I researched, there were certain demonstrations that this guy was leading, like the one at Barnard at Columbia, and at that one, from what I could tell, based on what pictures people were sharing online, there were pamphlets being handed out wishing negative things to happen to the United States. I say that very mildly. I don't want to say what the pamphlets actually said because if I say what the pamphlet said, I probably will get shut down at least by YouTube, probably not by Rumble. Not that I even want to say what's on those pamphlets, but it has the letter D and it mentions America. it, it- and that's basically the pamphlets that were being given out at this thing. Now, I understand that if I read here, they're going to say that this was a super nice guy and his wife was waiting for him and he's like just a swell guy. But at the same time, if you and he's, I guess, he has some kind of residency here. The thing is that if you come to a country and you want to stay there and you're somehow organizing these protests that some of them are violent, and they're sort of wishing bad things even to happen to the country that just gave you residency, that's where I think it starts becoming a little bit problematic. Now, I know that there's a judge that basically blocked this now. Then it's like blocking. No, you can't send him away. He has to stay here forever. Uh, I mean, I think that there's some kind of Patriot Act or whatever that was that if you wished for your own country, if you don't like your own country and wish bad things to happen to that country, you're out. And I think that's the position this guy is in. Don't know how it'll all get resolved, but yes, Marakstra. The pamphlets seem to say that they wanted the unaliving of the U.S., which would have been an issue. Not to mention that there's other things that I looked online that were very suspicious regarding this guy, at least in my opinion. It's not. See, the way the AP and some of these kind of mainstream media outlets want to present it, he was just some student on campus. He held some sign. He was trying to, he's involved. He's supporting a side in the conflict or something like that. He cares about like human beings or whatever. But that's really not it doesn't look like what's happening here upon closer examination. I assume that I can only assume that Trump and his people saw the additional information that I'm looking at, and it's not just they're not under the impression that this is a swell guy. You also have to wonder sometimes once like you see these kind of protests and these things that become violent, and there's some guy like orchestrating everything, where he came from, what how did he get here, where he came from, what's going on. And I think they had some questions. Now, Professor, what do you think about this whole situation?
Oh, it's just all kind of weird. It's it's like, oh, we're just gonna snatch this guy up because he's been leading protests on campus, and then yeah, the whole oh well, he's no, he's not a legal resident. Yes, he is a legal resident. Where is he being held? He's being held in New Jersey. No, he's being held in Louisiana. It's like it's all so strange. Honestly, I think this is a little weird. If it has been shown, and I guess the court, like as you said, the court has blocked this now. So, if he is a legal resident here, I'm sorry, that's real shaky ground to just be snatching somebody up and disappearing them.
I don't get it.
Uh,
Is Nick I see Tom.
there's Tom. Yep.
Here's Tom.
I have no idea why my image looks so blurry and weird. I can't tell you.
I don't know either. But
Yeah,
but
Nick's
Nick,
here.
what happened to you? I saw you and then you disappeared.
For some reason, it won't let me have an avatar.
No, it won't let
No.
you. I can try to add an avatar if you want.
You can manually add my avatar.
You
but
got to
we-
have a
we-
camera. You got to have OBS. Yeah.
Oh, it's just like that. Well, okay. Well, I guess just slide me in somewhere, wherever you want me. But what's up, Night Owl chat around Rumble and YouTube? Diabolically huge. Part 3 of the Metoverse crossover.
Huge.
This is crazy, man. I want to do more of these crossovers. These are fun.
Absolutely. So I guess we were talking about this guy that they're deporting.
Oh, yeah. Go on.
And I personally, listen, I understand that if you're a resident, it's not simple to just deport somebody. At the same time, it appears that this guy, also he led protests, that at the protests there were pamphlets being handed out. If what I saw online is correct, was recommending that the United States unalive itself. That's usually not good. If you're trying to become a resident somewhere, and that's the kind of thing you're spreading, that could be an issue.
Does seem a little strange, right? I mean, obviously, there's plenty of Americans that hate America, so that's nothing new. But if you're somebody who's potentially not a legal resident or is like sort of provisionally allowed in the country on a visa or something, it seems
Exactly.
like that might be kind of a line you don't want to cross as far as calling
if you're smart,
for,
you don't organize stuff like that. I mean,
The key word, if you're smart.
Minecraft America.
Exactly. I'm trying to find Nick's image.
My image. I'm concerned about my image, guys. My image. I'm really concerned about my image. No, I'm really not. It's just fun to say.
Can you see your image now?
I can see myself. I'm being seen, guys. I'm represented
Finally, you're
on
seen.
stream.
Yeah, you can finally see yourself on screen.
Well, that's real important after you announce your transition over on Rumble.
True.
You should be seen. You need to be seen.
Well, Mary White is saying.
Go ahead.
Mary White is saying, once you have a green card, then you can apply for citizenship. Yes. And not that anybody's asking me, but I think that during that time, best not to organize protests that include pamphlets that are, suggesting that, the U.S. should Minecraft. What do you like to call this?
Yes.
Mind your craft.
Minecrafting yourself.
So
Yes.
so yeah, I think that that's going to be the main focus here and the main conversation. Now, even if Trump doesn't succeed here, and let's say they say he's already a resident, you can't do it, or the courts don't agree with him. One thing I'll say is at least maybe it's a signal that if this is what you like to do, there'll be at least a spotlight on you. Meaning, if you want to do stuff that's like against the country you're staying at, it's not going to be looked at positively. If nothing else,
Yeah.
we'll have to see
Yeah.
how this all plays out. But
So if he is indeed a holder of a green card, from what I understand, from what I was reading on it, someone who has a green card, if he has that, went through the process, having gotten married, he's got the green card, then he is considered a permanent resident, lawful permanent resident of the United States. However, a
Yeah.
green card is not citizenship, and it may be revoked should someone commit certain crimes or violate certain immigration laws. So I think we do have a situation here where it's going to come down to what are the charges? What are they saying he did? Are they, are they actually things that would be something that they could revoke that, and he would no longer be a lawful permanent resident? So, yeah, this is going to take a while to get through the courts, I think.
But if nothing else, it sort of sends a message. I do think that if that was the goal, to at least say, hey, we don't like this, at least that's something. And however this plays out, I generally think that we've seen too many cases like this in recent years where people come here and they seem to really dislike the place.
Well, like Axl Rose said, immigrant, you come to our country and you do as you please, you spread disease, Yeah, I'm pretty sure most fags are homegrown, but still, I'm just saying.
Axl Rose said this?
Yeah, it's in that song.
Which one is it? I don't even remember.
They removed it from, I think, the anniversary edition of GNR Lies. It's in GNR Lies. It's
it's not Patience?
No, it's one of the other ones. It's what the hell is
I had that cassette, but now I don't quite remember. Oh, they removed it. Wow.
Wow.
That's kind of crappy that they removed it. I mean, and that was their art. Didn't they believe in what they were
saying? You come
singing?
to our country, yeah, and you do as you please and spread some fucking disease. Yeah, I don't remember the name.
Oh, it's so good. Seriously, that's so fucking good.
1 in a million. That's the one it is. You're 1 in a million, babe. Yeah. Well, that's what you are.
Wow. Damn,
you're a shooting star. At least he hasn't unalived himself yet in a closet with a...
hanging in the back of a closet with a belt around his neck. Yeah.
If Axl only had done that 20, 30 years ago.
Well, we'll have to see. We'll have to see how it all plays out. And yeah, I guess just an interesting development. In addition, there's also all the there's like the regular immigration stuff that also, I guess there's resistance to that.
It's kind of interesting. You're talking about all the the immigration enforcement and stuff that they've been doing, and it's kind of funny that particular subject has almost disappeared in the conversation now with everyone else. They're spending all of this time talking about Doge and President Musk. Yeah, that's a new take, right?
Wow. What amazing take. Wow.
Yeah. Who was that? Saw someone yesterday blabbing their mouth, but I was like, this, yeah, so new, so sharp with your take there, President Musk. Shut up. We didn't elect him. No, we didn't. We elected Donald Trump, and Donald Trump picked him.
Yes, he appointed him to be part of the department.
to
Yeah,
help
they really-
take care of this.
government efficiency. So yes, in a way, we elected him to bring Elon on board. So yeah, in a technicality, yes, we did elect him. Because when you get elected, you appoint your administration, you nominate, and hope that they get approved. And then obviously for Elon's position, he created a position that didn't require that type of thing. Because they're trying to actually that's the thing. They don't actually want to actually solve it. And this is something that I've learned now, and I should have caught on to with politics, as throughout the years when they talked about solving issues, they never actually want to solve issues. They've only wanted to talk about
to get you to
solutions.
think their way, basically.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I remember who it was. It was the totally irrelevant, not funny, one-time comedian Chelsea Handler.
Oh yeah,
He
she
was
had
talking
something
about
that
it.
she was.
We didn't elect him. It's like, shut
No,
up.
but they
No one-
act like, well,
absolutely nobody cares what you
they're
think.
like, nobody elected him. It's like, yeah, but you guys act like he sprung us on him or us on him.
Yeah.
Ugh, sprung
He was
him on
part
us
of the
or something.
campaign. Everybody who voted
Exactly.
for Trump knew that Musk was going to be part of the deal.
I
Everybody.
know. They're like, they acting all freaked out. Like, are you regretting your vote yet? We're like, no, he's doing
No.
exactly what he fucking said he was gonna do.
It's like, yeah, I saw one today that was going around viral. This they're going to shut down the Department of Education. Is this what you voted
Good.
for?
Yes.
Yes, actually, yeah, it is.
111%.
It just shows you that they didn't pay attention, right? Like they listened to the hyperbole. They didn't actually pay attention to anything anybody said. All they kept running with was Project 2025 or whatever the hell it was. Or
Yep.
So.
And that was done intentionally. That's the thing. It was done intentionally so they could be surprised with that. It was Project 2025 was nothing more than a distraction because they knew if they paid attention to the actual arguments, they could get set up and be like, oh, okay, so this is what's going on versus that was the whole gist is they're not blaming the news for misleading them. They're just blaming Musk because they thought it was going to be one thing and ended up being another because they had the expectation of Project 2025 and ends up being, to them, it's a rug being pulled out when really it never was a rug being pulled out. This is what always was the plan. But because the news misled them, which they refuse to see, if they know it's said, they just got to pretend it's not there because the news never lies.
Bill Burr is becoming quite a dum-dum in recent times.
Since he
I
got
feel like
married, he hit full raging leftist since he got married.
maybe. So
I'm
let
a
me see.
fucking cack, okay?
No, look at how he was before he got married. He got fucking Yoko, dude. I'm not joking. He used to be like a Ralph Nader type of like independent, but then once he was with his Yoko, now she's one of those types where now he has to basically fall in line.
Yeah, I mean, he went in this whole like rant about like Elon Musk being an idiot and all this other, and him being a newsie and all their things. And this is why I hate liberals. Liberals have no teeth. They just say, "Oh, like blah blah blah." And he was like then making fun of how like they're scared of Elon and whatever it is. And he's like, why doesn't he? Why are we so afraid of this guy that
And
can't fight his way out of a wet paper bag?
And again, coming back to the same ridiculous thing. Oh, his Yahtzee salute. He did yacht. Oh, and it's like he was waving at the crowd. It was awkward. It was weird, but he was waving at the crowd.
You can say he did
he
a
is
bad
kind of an
job
awkward-
at it. Maybe he did a bad job at it. Sure, I'll concede
He's kind of
that,
an awkward
yeah.
guy. He's kind of an awkward guy. I'm not suggesting that everything that he does is good, but in that specific case, I really think that he didn't mean that. But they're like, did anyone vote for Elon Musk to be president? I mean, can't we come together, Republicans and Democrats, and say we don't want that? Can't we agree on that at least? But it's like he's basically been given a job to make the government more efficient. I mean, that's what he was asked to do, and he's doing it. And on the campaign, like you guys said, Trump said that that's what he wanted, and people knew that. So I don't really know. This feels like now a new wave of like nonsense from these type of celebrities. We're used to their crap from the past, but this is like the latest wave now. I guess they're Elon. That's like their biggest target that they're all angry at now.
Yep. They never cared about who was elected, who was not. They just need a boogeyman because the boogeyman is their motivation to keep their people mad. and by hoping that they stay mad, they think that will translate into votes.
Yeah. Well, and the left, the Democratic Party is grasping at straws.
Oh, I
They
know,
they
right?
are in full scale collapse. It's almost sad if I cared. But it's amazing just see you go on the news shows and you see, I mean, some of those people that are sitting on, that they they've been this, the word, the voice of the Democrat Party for so long, and they've had all this power because they, or at least they thought they did, right? Because they
Uh,
had these shows that everyone was watching, and then you watch some of these shows, and some of these people look like they are just completely defeated. They don't even know what to say, or they're just lost. And I think part of that is just the shock and awe level of, Trump coming in with his administration, and it's just bam, 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 bam. Every day there's some new thing, and they're like, what? Huh? What's they don't even know what's going on. It's wild to watch some of them. And there's a few of them. I've seen some coverage there's a few of them that are starting to get there. They're starting to realize that, yeah, maybe we lost for a reason. Maybe people really don't want to hear all of this woke scolding and all of this crap that we've been trying to sell for the last 5, 6, 7 years now. Maybe people are tired of this, and we need to find a different way to go. And then you just have the all the idiots on Capitol Hill jumping around, like making Street Fighter memes and stuff, like they think they're gonna make a comeback and defeat the Republicans by memeing their way to the top. It's
Interestingly,
sad.
a lot of comments on this article with Handler and Musk whining, they seem to actually be more pro Elon. And this is like Deadline, this isn't like you'd think Deadline, some people would be here like protecting Chelsea and Burr, but they're like, Burr is the idiot.
wow. I never thought I'd see the day.
And somebody wrote, when he buys a studio or network, we'll see how tough Hollywood is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he hasn't done that. That could be his next move. Like, I felt that at some point he'll just buy some studio and then just...
Well, the silent majority is waking up. They're not afraid to say shit anymore. People aren't afraid so much to go out in public. I mean, some people still will talk about in certain areas where they have issues wearing like a MAGA hat or something like that. But
dude,
for the most part, you don't hear nearly as much as you used to.
No, you can even see people now, even at a freaking Yankees game and at Yankee Stadium, and you'll have at least one or two people wearing the hat, and it's whatever. They wore people out so much of it that they desensitized them to it.
Well, woke kind of obviously sleeping giant is what it did.
Oh yeah, it did. They created the monster. And this is something I've stressed to people. If they didn't try so hard to get people involved in politics, because they tried using the emotional blackmail of everyone and everything is inherently political, and by using that mentality to think you can force people into compliance, all you do is made them resent you and vote against you. They could have had all these elections and we probably would have not thought shit about it, but because they want us to get involved, well, now we're going to make it backfire on their ass, because a lot of us did not care or want to follow politics for the longest time. A lot of us were in the camp of, leave me the fuck alone. I just want to live my life. But now, oh, you need to be involved. Okay, you want me involved? Good. I'm going to vote against the thing that you want out of spite, asshole.
And and you also got the massive all of this identity politics stuff that came to such a head that at a point it was like, well, if you're not anti-racist, then that's not good enough. It's not good enough to not be
the new
racist.
thing.
Well,
You
changed.
have to be actively doing things to make up for it. And then when they started selling all of that, and people actually started to recognize what all of that said, as they were forced into seminars at work day after day to be told about everything they were doing wrong and how they were
Fucking
irredeemable
psychotic.
because of the color of their skin.
well,
And all of that, you pile all of that on top of people, and finally people they're just done. They said, look, fine, yeah, I'm irredeemable, great, screw you, go
well,
away.
yeah, Americans at their heart are rebels, right? We love it. And I mean that like in a sarcastic way.
Yeah.
When people tell us what to fucking do.
Mhm.
And how to think. Like we
Mhm.
adore it. Right? Like, yeah, that's our favorite thing in the world. So don't be surprised if after a certain amount of time, because you're 100% right. Like for the longest time, the sleeping giant was just basically a lot of people going, yeah. Things were this way for a long time. We need to make some change. Changes have been made. Guys can marry guys. Women can marry women. Civil rights are great. Everybody's created equal. Fair Employment Act and all that kind of business came into play. All that kind of stuff. Yeah, cool. It's taking that extra mile now, and it's going so far over the edge that people are just like, you know what? Fuck this.
Yep.
And
People
it
got
is
greedy.
exactly, yeah,
They
it's
got
exactly
greedy.
what you guys said. And it's where I love when people are like, how can you, it's like, I'm not so much celebrating that Trump won. I'm celebrating that you lost. That's where we're at right now. People pushed us to that point, right? It wasn't so much that we just wanted to, have our voice be heard and have an opinion in the matter and be able to enjoy entertainment without having something shoved down our throats. Instead, you've gotten us to the point where it's like, we don't give a shit what
Yeah.
you think right now.
Yeah. And
Because
that, I
it's
think,
not, yeah, we're not even rooting for Trump so much as we're just actively happy that you fuckers lost.
yeah.
That's,
I think you're very right, Tom. I think, and that is one thing that I think that a lot of people came to a realization, because there's a lot of just reasonable people, people like you said, like just kind of leave us out of it, like just don't, we don't really care, we want to get along, we want to do okay, yeah, so okay, gay marriage, fine, all right, okay, so like trans people, okay, fine, but then they just keep pushing, because the truth is that all of these different things, the racial, theories, and the queer theory and all this stuff, there is no end. There is no destination that's going to be good enough. It always has to be more, and there's a little more, and there's a little more. And so every time we would make something, they were like, okay, well, we made that change. Well, now we need to make your kids accept all of this stuff. Now we got to start putting this stuff in schools. Now, no, it's not good enough that you're, like I said, it's not good enough that you're not a racist. You have to be an anti-racist. They just keep pushing, and eventually people broke and they said, no, no, that you do not have a place where you're finally going to be happy. There is no, there is nowhere that we're going to get a win out of this. So shut up and go away. We're done with you.
Speaking of people that are happy, Rosie O'Donnell. Tom, you wanted you were mentioning this, so there's the video here. I just want to see what she says. I guess this is the video she announces her departure. Are you ready? Can anybody hear me? Okay.
And I'm here in Ireland, and it's beautiful and warm.
That dude sounds like my grandma.
It's actually quite cold. Moved here on January 15th, and it's been pretty wonderful, I have to say. The people are so loving and so kind, so welcoming, and I'm very grateful. I'm in the process of getting my Irish citizenship, as I have Irish grandparents, and that's what's going on, and that's where I've been and what I've been doing. And although I was never someone who thought I would move to another country, that's what I decided would be the best for myself and my 12-year-old child. And here we are. Here we are. I miss my other kids. I miss my friends. I miss many things about life there at home. and I'm trying to find a home here in this beautiful country. And when, it is safe for all citizens to have equal rights there in America, that's when we will consider coming back.
What rights were lost?
Absolutely
Nothing.
none.
This is just she's delusional.
Well, I'm sorry, Ireland. I really am.
Wait, she left some of her kids? She's like, I couldn't take all my kids. Like, why? What happened to the other
Yeah.
ones?
Yeah, and that 12-year-old, you're allowed to make decisions for them. I thought parents weren't allowed to do that anymore. I thought the kids had to
My
make
guess
decisions.
is, I hate
Only
playing to her
gay
favor,
parents can.
but my
Oh,
guess
sorry.
is that, or it's either that, or they're probably like near adult age, if not adult age, but she's trying to still use that as a sympathetic angle.
Caleb
Because they
Levine
didn't want
says,
to move to fucking Ireland. That's why.
Caleb Levine says, I'm still amazed that getting rid of Uncle Ben, Aunt Jemima, and the Land O'Lakes gal didn't end racism.
Yeah, right.
Didn't do much of anything. If
Oh,
anything,
I thought electing Obama was supposed to do that.
yes, that was supposed to end it also. Didn't work, I guess.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, I agree with what Tom was saying before, that people just got very greedy. And another thing, sometimes there's sort of a natural progression where things get, maybe people become more accepting of certain things, society changes, and I think that everything was actually in a pretty decent place and advancing at a reasonable speed, and suddenly they just made all that kind of woke stuff and all what getting greedy, where like everything had to happen that they decide that same second, or else you're not a person anymore, and some of that stuff was just bonkers.
Yeah,
That's
it
how they
was.
ended up losing everybody, I think. I didn't
Yeah.
even used to think about politics or care about anything, really. I noticed that this kind of, I guess what you want to call it, the woke mind virus, started getting into every thing that we have in our lives, whether it's
Yep.
entertainment or anything else. They just wouldn't let it go in a way that's
There's
like
not
extreme.
there's not one thing that they would consider off limits. There's not one thing we're like, oh, we'll leave that alone. And I used to when I used to notice a lot of things would get politicized, I used to always, I guess you could say, try to run to our things, like, okay, this should be safe. And then it's like it's just one of those things. No matter how much you try to run, you gotta eventually face it. And that's where I was at with this shit, because I realized they weren't gonna put anything off limits. There's not one thing that they won't try to touch, and that was their whole thing, is to take over every facet of our lives possible. If there's a popular ad for deodorant, we gotta infiltrate it. There's an ad for pet food, infiltrate it. There was not one thing that was, to them, they could overlook. It was, we need to incorporate every facet of our lives, and that was their way to normalize things. If it's included in part of our everyday lives, you have already embraced it just by knowing that it's there in every facet of life, to make it feel like you have no way out.
By the way, Lyosh, I can't highlight comments from Rumble, but saying Ireland is having a new type of trouble. Hopes you can weather it.
Oh yeah,
What's going
Ireland's
on with
going through
Ireland?
bullshit
Ireland is
right
weird
now.
now, right?
A lot. They got immigration issues, tons of them going on. I've been hearing that Ireland's a shit show right now.
It seems like it. I feel like Ireland back in the day, you could trust that there's some like drunk people at a bar, like drinking, Guinness and whiskey. And now I think that I don't know, they've become kind of woke themselves, and I
Well,
don't
I
really
mean,
know.
they let Rosie O'Donnell in,
Right.
so things must not be going well.
No, it's not only that. Imagine that you're Rosie O'Donnell and you're trying to scout a place that like will be like on your wavelength, and she's like, "Yep, Ireland's the place for me." That's not a good sign for Ireland,
Not at all.
I think, at least.
No. Yeah. They're having all kinds of issues over there with immigration and stuff as well. So
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, I admit, I haven't been to England in a long time, but I used to love going there. Like I was there a number of times, and I actually really enjoyed visiting there. But now when I see, I don't know if it's really like that or just the videos look like it, but some of those videos that I see are very, very, don't really give me the feeling that I feel like going to London now.
Yeah, you'll be arrested for your posts on X. You know.
Yeah, they're like, I'll land, and they'll be like, "Excuse me, are you the co-host of the Night Owl?
I mean,
Come with
but
me."
on that point, I mean, do we realize? I mean, we know we came close to dodging a bullet like Trump did in general, but like,
Nah, no
Nope.
kidding.
I mean, we're at that point now. If she had won, we probably would be facing this shit where people are getting locked away for shit they're posting on Twitter. Our YouTube channels be shut down. We'd probably be facing jail and prison time for God
oh
knows what.
yeah, for
Like,
sure.
They'd have come after us hard, fucking core. I guarantee
No
you.
question.
All gloves would be off, and that's why I think they're panicking right now, because they think that's what's going to happen to them. Because that's exactly what they would do to us.
That's how they envision how governments run to them. That's how they imagine the state runs, is if we aren't doing it to them, they're going to do it to us. That's exactly how they imagine it. The things that they accuse of is what they do, and they think that that's how it has to run. And that's a really messed up way of thinking, that that's how governments operate. But it's not. But to them, that's how it is, because that's how they're brought up on thinking.
Sean Green says the left erased Speedy Gonzalez and Pepe Le Pew.
Yep.
They did.
Yeah, that's why I still watch those cartoons. Remembrance. I won't let it go. Fuck that shit, bro.
They destroyed the minds of an entire generation. Yes. And you know what? I always say this, that when I saw The Last Jedi and I started telling people, something is wrong, something really bad is happening in entertainment, people were like, "Oh, you're so stupid. Like, you're being so silly and childish. Like, with this movie with like the space wizard, what are you worried about? You think?" And people weren't taking that seriously. But they really have, with all that content or whatever you want to call it, over the past several years, a whole generation of kids saw that, and it did influence them, and not in a good way.
Yeah, it's true. We're gonna be paying for a lot of the fallout from this stuff for a while.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I'll say is that I feel like since Trump got elected, the one thing that I hear less of is like less of all that gender stuff. I really do feel like it's kind of quieted it down.
Let's hope it's not a retreat where they just are trying to see what they can do to repackage it. Because you gotta remember, there's one thing anyone on the far left never do, is admit they are wrong, defeat.
No,
towards
they'll repackage.
anything.
No. Yeah.
I said
repackage,
said maybe before, like, if you had to take, let's just say, Marvel writer Dan Slott, would he rather admit to someone he politically disagreed with that he was wrong on something, or would he rather let a piranha slowly eat his balls off? He will let the piranha eat his balls off slowly. That's how much that shit eats at them. They can never be wrong about anything ever, especially when it comes to people that they disagree with.
The thing is that I didn't even care about all the stuff, like, like I think what Tom was saying before, but or you were saying it, the marriage and the equal rights and the,
Nobody really did.
LG stuff. Nobody cared about anything. It was
those
just
are
like
things that were passed with like what 70 or 80% of the population being, just let it go. Like the only resistance was really in the Christian groups, more or less.
right,
Yes.
more like more right Christian. That happens sometimes with people that are more religious. I sometimes I don't judge people even to think that way, but I'm just saying that I think for the most part, there was a lot of acceptance in society. I think that the whole opinion about it shifted, and things were heading, in my opinion, in a good direction. It's when they started announcing that there's like 70 genders, that's when I think that's part of what you were saying, Tom, that it was greedy. And the thing with the sports, people don't remember this. On that Quantum Leap show, on the reboot, they did an episode where he leaped into a father of a transformer girl that plays on a girls' basketball team. And right now, they couldn't make that episode. Or if they made it, I don't know if they could even make it. Like when they made the episode, it was like a PSA explaining that if you don't think that it's good that there's like men and women's sports, then you're a bad person. And there was no like wiggle room here. Like you watch the episode and it's telling you you're a bad person if you think that. And now I don't know. I don't know if they'd make that episode.
Probably not.
And yeah, I don't think it needed one. They also had a situation where he leaped like into the 1950s, and then there was a woman who who saw herself as gender neutral. It's like, no, she didn't. No, she didn't. There
BS.
wasn't somebody in like the 1950s that was like gender neutral. It was such nonsense. And like the guy then tells her, oh, like let me explain it to you. You're gender neutral. It was so annoying, man. I always remember these things, and it bothered me so much. I feel like now those things wouldn't get made. Hopefully, at least.
Jeez. Yeah. Just makes me think of the gender pronouns lecturing crap in that Doctor Who special. Just so cringe and awful. Nobody asked for that.
Yeah. So I was trying to find it. I don't even know where to find that clip. It was so cringe, but it's such a bad show that nobody even clipped it to share. Like if that was any other show that anybody like, I'm saying that if that was any other show that anybody actually cared about, you'd be seeing those clips. People would be talking about them until today. It's just a show that initially some people that liked the original show watched. Everybody stopped watching except for me because I did the reviews, and nobody even stuck around to see some of the things that I'm telling you.
Wow. Hot damn, dude. Seriously. That's nuts, man. I tell you. I freaking tell you. Man. We're going to live at that. We're going to look back at this time and how crazy it was. But the only hope I get out of it, not in like a general sense, but more of like a wishful thinking hope. I hope that we get movies on this timeline because we could cover every genre with this timeline. We could do a great horror movie. We could do a great drama. We could do a great comedy. We could do a great action movie. The amount of crazy shit that has happened this timeline, we could cover all the bases with every genre with this crazy timeline. We need to, like, if you really want to do a DEI check off all the boxes, every genre of this timeline could make a good movie. Tell me I'm wrong. Which you know what? Actually, let's go all the way with it. What genre movie would you like to see out of this price? What's the first movie you like to see out of this timeline? What genre movie would you like to see?
Let me think about it. On this timeline?
Yeah.
Like what movie do I want to see now for real?
Like if a movie came out on this crazy timeline that we live in, which genre movie would you like to see? What would be the one you like to see? The drama movie, the comedy movie, the action movie? I want to know what is the like? Oh, I'd like to see a comedy one on this timeline.
Maybe a drama series that includes like crime, but also a bit of humor.
Okay.
And like dealing with a lot of like activists and weird people and trying to kind of deal with them. That would be interesting.
Okay.
I wanted to show this thing.
Gia! Ben, Ziggy found out what happened to Gia. She dies out there alone. The police misgender her body. That's why there was no record. That's why her parents could never stop looking for her. You have to stop her from running away, or else she's gonna be erased.
The fuck is this?
So basically, that was Quantum Leap in that episode. Like
what the
basically,
fuck trash is that?
They misgender the body. They're like because she that's the girl that wanted to play the transgender. Sorry, the transformer. I don't even know. Never mind. The transformer girl wanted to play sports, but then the other people told her that she was annoying and she shouldn't play sports. So she ran away into the forest, and that's where she was found dead. And then I hear like from the future, he's being told that's like the owl. The lady is instead of like Dean Stockwell as Al, you have this annoying lady. So she tells him, oh, they misgendered her body. That's why in history they never knew where to find the body because they misgendered her.
Well, that's really interesting because you can't misgender a body because a body doesn't have a gender. It has a sex. Kind of hard to misgender it.
Yep. This was just a little nugget from the thing. I'm telling you that there was a lot of like, this show was so stupid. But I just happened to find that and I thought
Was this on the CW?
Pathetic.
No, it was on NBC, and they really made it seem like it's a sequel series to the original show, which I was happy to watch, but then it turned out getting all this crap.
Oh, you sweet summer child, price of reason.
There was also the other one. I wish I could find the thing. Did I ever show you that, Professor? That in the 1950s the woman wanted to be like a gender neutral. I don't know why until now.
No,
that annoys me.
I don't think I saw that one. No. I'll save you from looking at this any longer. But that just cracks me up. It's like, yes, these psychotic people are the ones that are angry at us for voting for Donald Trump. Think we're nuts, right? So ridiculous,
dude. We need mental institutions on it.
We absolutely do.
You know, if there's going to be a few things that like, okay, let's remove the Department of Education. Great. I'm down for cleaning out like 80% of our government, but if something has to stay and we have validated through time and proven what needs to stick, it is the fucking mental institutions, because the far left in particular, validated why we need it. Straight up.
Make asylums great again, baby.
Yeah.
You guys asked about the genre of film you'd like to see of this era. I said slasher film because fuck teenagers. They all need to die.
Okay.
I'm just kidding, of course.
What about you, Professor?
No. I'm ready for I'm ready for the boner comedy with all the Democrats in the House chasing each other around trying to get some.
It's going to be a gay ass comedy.
It definitely will be. Yes, it definitely will be.
Gay as hell.
Price, we've got a couple.
Now listen to my slasher
chat,
idea,
man.
though, because the killer kills you if you misgender people, if you're racist, if you're a bigot, if you're all these. Yeah, see, now this might actually work.
Oh, man.
Now we just got to come up with a cool name and idea for the killer.
Oh, God.
Microaggression.
Oh, the microaggressor.
The microaggressor, yes.
That would be the name of the killer. Oh, man. Dude.
He's going to show you how to do better.
Oh, it can't be a he.
She, they, them, they, them. We don't know what they are.
It's got to be as G.
But as soon as we find out,
yeah,
they'll make you do better.
Price, just so you know, you got a Rumble rant on Rumble.
Yeah, I was gonna say we got a Rumble rant and we got a super chat.
Oh, okay, so let's.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to show it.
No, you know what? I'm gonna find a way to do it. First of all, Deep will send this, so yeah. I'm gonna find a way to do it. Hold on.
You're gonna find a way to get it up.
I'm trying to do something here.
Trying to get it up.
Banners. Okay.
You don't have to go to the same links that Jason Statham went to get it up.
Links.
Okay, so Deeple. Create banner. And then
come on, Price. You gotta get it up.
Here.
Hey,
Deeple, here's to keeping up the good fight. Gotta go to bed now. Thanks for all the fun tonight. Price, Nick, Tom, and Professor R2. The final re is here, and we must kill it with fire. And that is a $5 Rumble rant. So yes, I hope you were still around to see this, and we thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Deeple.
Thanks for the Rumble rant.
Oh, I see that he's like, oh, Toodles, and he left. Anyhow, Thank you, Deeple. I appreciate it. And then the other thing that was there a YouTube chat that I missed?
Super chat?
Yeah, there's a super chat from
it's the Phobos.
Okay, it's the Phobos. This one, I guess I can do something else. I can do what if I share the screen?
I'm curious. If I paste this into the private chat, can you share it?
Here. Now we can
Put
see
it
everything.
in the private.
You owe me for making me watch that crap. Minus $2. You're right, it's the Phobos. I apologize. I did make you watch that, and I'm sorry.
Is he though? Is he really sorry for that though? Let's be real here.
No, he's not.
Nah. I was gonna say, let's be a bit real here, God. Let's keep it 100 here. Oh,
I'm still looking for the other clip where it's like the person that's in the 50s and wants to be like a gender neutral.
It's the 1950s. Don't you know that you can be neither male or female? I
It's
thought
something
this
like
age
that.
was enlightened.
No, you're not thinking more, forward thinking, progressive enough. You got to go way back farther.
okay, I'm so fucking.
I know you got to go in their lifetimes, but still,
I'm so fucking.
Does that even work anymore?
I identify as your mom. I am your boss too. I also identify as your boss, and I identify as your money too.
Yeah, I identify as a billionaire.
And I own all your money. Since you own nothing, your phone is mine too. And I also identify as your phone. So if you want to use your phone, you gotta admit that I own you. That's the route we're gonna fucking go with this trash. Like, seriously, like, prove them that they don't even believe in their own shit half the time. Like, there's shit that they are true believers in, but there's also shit that if you like actually prove that to them that they don't, like, take their own phones, and before you know it, suddenly everything that belongs to everyone, their phones, man, their phones. And if they're wearing a face diaper, try to take out their face diaper. They'll tell you really, they'll backpedal really quick on shit that now magically belongs to them all of a sudden.
That's assault.
Yeah, right. That's assault. Oh man, these fucking crazy psychos, man. Seriously, make mental institutions great again.
You mentally assaulted me.
Unfortunately,
that's not my truth, so therefore it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I admit I couldn't find that episode. I mean, I couldn't find that clip that I wanted.
You couldn't get it up?
I'm crushed, Price.
Totally upset.
It is something awful. It's just so awful that, like, the thing with the 50s that, like, she didn't know her gender. I don't know why until this day it haunts me. But you'll have to take my word for it.
I will. I'll take your word for it.
Somebody wrote Robo George Floyd. Is that the villain in our show?
Robo Floyd.
Culture Casino started the whole face diaper crap.
Face what does he mean? I need to know what he means by that.
Whalem03 says plastic surgery was happening in the 40s. You know, whether it was or wasn't, I don't think that, like, what I saw in that episode was like you just applied 20 something people to a 1950s setting. That was the whole Quantum Leap show, that they kept just doing that over and over again. It's really annoying. Like, I wish I would meet.
How do they keep going back to the 50s, though? I don't get it.
What do you mean?
In the original show, the whole idea is that he can only jump within his lifetime.
Right. So in this show, they just said, fuck it. And they just said he could go where... You know,
oh, for fuck's sake.
He could go wherever he wants. So there was one episode that he goes to the Wild West, and the sheriff is like is a black dude or something like that. And I'm like thinking, this is like Blazing Saddles, only they're being
the
serious
sheriff is
right. So it's as if they're doing like a Blazing Saddles, but they're doing it for real. And there's like a girl boss there, and all this other weird stuff. Another time, you went like back to where there's like witches in Salem. And that one also was like bonkers insane. Like, it also didn't work. It's actually better if he could travel within his own lifetime. If he could just travel whenever in history, I mean, I don't know. Like, it's it actually opens the door to more problems than anything else.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was kind of part of the gimmick of the original film. That's why I was like, what the hell? What do you mean? Well, you keep mentioning the 50s. The 50s. I'm like, is there an 80-year-old who's like hopping around now or what? Like,
No, if they had Scott Bakula, he could go to the 50s because it's within his
Yeah.
lifetime. But instead, like,
yeah, and he said thanks, but no thanks when he read the script. Yeah.
yeah, he said, I mean, script always says to me, like, oh, like, you know, they didn't do justice with him. They were doing something where they kind of sidelined his character. I don't know what they did. He read the script. He said, I don't want anything to do with this. And he
Yeah, I
just
got the
backed out.
script.
And you know what? A lot of props to him. So many have like fallen for that trap. You know what I mean? Mark
Yeah.
Hamill and all this stuff. Like, there's a lot of people that fell for those kind of traps where they come back and then they're made fools of. Scott Bakula said no, never budged, never. They kept teasing, oh, maybe we can convince him one day to come back.
Well, what I
Never came back.
remember of that script that I have, because that's not even the final script, the one they ended up going with, if I remember right, unless it's flip-flopped, I think. But like the one they ended up going with that they wanted to, that they ended up sending him, I think was worse than the one that we had. Because I don't even know if he read the one that we had. Because the one we had was like an older one. And then I think Script Doctor said they rewrote it for the pilot episode. And then he got minimalized to like next to nothing, or maybe it was like after he said no, they rewrote it because maybe he was like a sort of part of the original one, but like I don't even remember him being in it because I quit reading before he ever showed up if he was. And script said something like he's only in like the last 5 minutes of the script, and it was like put there in case they had to take it out or something like that. You'd have to check with him. You talk to him every Thursday about it.
Yeah,
so
no,
he never shows up to any of my fucking shows anymore. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, he's told me stuff like that, and I understand, and I tend to believe him. It's just that all I know is that Scott Bakula said no, and he didn't make any cameo, any appearances, anything. He wanted nothing to do with this show. The truth is, they needed to make some kind of movie while him and Dean Stockwell were still alive, and preferably younger, because they ended the show so abruptly that I think having like even if it was like a direct to streaming movie or direct to TV movie, whatever you want to call it, just wrap up the story.
Yeah, the ending was basically like Scott Bakula died on his way home to his planet. You know, that was really how it ended, from my memory. It was really
something
bad.
like it was just basically
he never got home, is what it said.
Never got home. Yeah, they're just like, you know, and the way you find it out is just like there's like a title at the end. They're like, "Hey, never got home," and then it ends.
That's what I mean. They literally poochied his ass.
Yeah, they did. They
Right.
literally did.
Like they're like all of a sudden just like gone, just like yeah. And Sam never made it home. He's dead. Okay, bye.
Right, and then they're just like, he's done, and that's it. There's like a title. There is a bit of closure, something that he does with Dean Stockwell's character without.
Yeah, that's one of the see, because I think they thought they were going to get another season, I think, or at least they were going to get like script has told this story too, so I'm probably getting it wrong, but like something along the lines of they were supposed to get like at least another few episodes to finish everything up, and then the studio just like backed out of the deal. So then to like just kind of end it, they just slapped on that last minute thing is kind of a fuck you to the network more than anything, I think. But like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I
that people
guess
would just basically complain, you know.
Yeah, they absolutely they absolutely did just a last minute thing. Now, I'll tell you that I know this. They had another portion of the final episode that they filmed, but then they scrapped it. And in the final part, and this was, I guess, if there was a sixth season, they had this additional part that
Right.
Al is now saying, like, I'm going to go find Sam, and I'm going to go into the accelerator, I'm going to leap, and I'm going to go bring him back. And that was, like,
Yeah.
a big thing. He tells that to his wife. There's a scene that it's filmed, and like, you
Well,
see
I think
it.
that's what I was saying. Yeah, they were supposed to get a few more episodes to finish it up, so they knew they were going to have to wrap the story, but they were only going to get like, I can't remember if it was like 6 episodes or something like that. But
Yeah, it didn't work out well for them, for sure.
even if they would have given him a TV movie like Elf got, that would have been nice, though. I agree with you. Like it's silly.
Yeah. Oh well.
Of course, half people
Did
don't
Alf
even
get a movie? I don't remember.
Yeah, I was just
what
gonna say
happened
most
to
people
Alf.
don't even know about
Oh
that. But
yes,
yeah.
they got a TV
I don't
movie.
even
and it
remember
was
that Alf got a movie. I thought he
abysmal.
never went back to
Eh.
Melmac, whatever it
I didn't
was.
hate it, but okay. So what happened is during the 4th season they left it on a cliffhanger because they again like Quantum Leap, leave it up to NBC. In fact, I think it's funny because it was probably the same person who made the same decision.
Probably.
They were supposed to bring it back for another season, and they just up and canceled it. And so, like, everybody's like, well, what the fuck? Because at the last episode of Elf, he's about to get picked up by the remaining people of his people, and the fucking ATF shows up and captures him. And it's like left on a cliffhanger, like, what happened to Elf? Like, did he live? Did he die? What do they do? Like, what's going on? And they just never finished it. They never got a chance to. So, like, what was it, 5-6 years later, maybe more than that? It's sometime in the late 90s. They put a movie together that was supposed to be a pilot episode for a possible new show. And it picks up where Elf's in the ATF. And the first 30 minutes or so of the movie is fucking hilarious. After that, it does kind of go downhill. But like the first 30 minutes are so funny because it's basically Elf with these guys doing tests on him. And these guys keep dying. And Elf keeps tormenting these poor fuckers. It's hilarious.
But what about Willie or I don't know what? What
They're
happens to all
gone.
the
They just
Oh,
mention
the
them
family,
once. And
the families has nothing.
Well,
to
nobody
do with
wanted to come back. That was the other problem too. Is everybody who made that show hated that show because Elf was such a nightmare to work with because like the entire set was like a death trap because everything was like raised set with puppet things underneath, and he it would take hours and hours and hours to shoot that shit because of how it was all set up and stuff. So they just hated shooting it, and they're being upstaged by a puppet. So like it was just a lot of waiting around, and they just didn't. There's a lot of reasons why they didn't like the show, I guess, but that was one of the main reasons. And they had a lot of stuff where they had to pretend that Elf was real for years and all that kind of stuff. Like there was this big thing in the press where they could never talk about Paul Fusco. Like if you notice, the only place that Paul Fusco is like says anything about him is like the created by, and he's like listed as one of Elf's assistants. Because like for years that they had to keep up maintain this idea that Elf was real and shit. It was just a big bunch of shit that they had to deal with. They're just like they were glad to be done with it.
I didn't know there was so much drama.
Well, and considering what the father and the main kid went through later in life and how they died, I can see where.
Why? What happened to them?
Well, the son, he just died. What was it, last year from an OD or something like that in a car?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and then or he had a stroke or something. I can't remember what it was, but he was Anyway, he had issues, and then the father, well, he had. Don't even get me started on that. We found out that not only was he like a big crack addict, he was like gay, and he was supposedly like was with some like I don't know if it was underage or not, but with some prostitute, some male prostitute.
Oh
or something
wow,
like
I
that.
did.
Yeah.
Wow. What, Willie?
Willie had gone way downhill when he died. Yeah.
Oh, I had no
I'm
idea.
surprised you guys didn't know about that stuff. Yeah. And the mother and the daughter, as far as I know, they just got out of Hollywood, and I haven't heard about them since. So they're
That's a crazy show. That could be an interesting movie. What happened to all these people?
They kind of did make a movie. Well, have you ever seen Permanent Midnight with Ben Stiller?
I haven't seen it. No.
Okay, that's loosely based on one of the producers on the show who was a big fucking, I think cokehead, if I remember right, or some drug he was on. Or was it heroin? One of the two. It came out like 20, 30 years ago. But it's not Fusco, but it's one of the other guys on the show. And they do talk. That was the other thing is like they have some stuff on, but they couldn't use Elf. So it's like some other fake alien, but it's Elf. It's obvious in the movie. So it's like, it kind of shows some of the behind the scenes shit that happened and how it was to deal with like this fucking coked up producer and everything like that.
Sounds wild. I like the older sister. Whoever the older sister was, I liked her. What was her name?
I don't know what she's up to now. Something Elise. I can't remember what her first name really is.
I remember there was an episode that Alf made a music video.
You're the one that's out of this world, sweet baby.
I mean, it was so convenient that he was
Adrian Elson. That's who you're thinking of.
He had the technology to make such an advanced video for that time.
Well, Willie had all that shit.
Oh,
he was a tech nerd.
Ah, okay. Anyhow, that was a memorable episode. But yeah,
she hasn't done shit since then, other than Parker Lewis, I guess.
Parker Lewis was a show. I want to tell you something. Parker Lewis. I used to watch that show, and I feel like nobody else watched it.
Oh no, everybody watched it.
it doesn't get talked about today. Most people don't talk about it, don't say anything. It's not one of those shows and things that people.
It was the real Ferris Bueller show. Like, it came out around the same time as that Ferris Bueller show, but that Ferris Bueller show was horrible.
Right.
Oh,
it was like
dreadful,
the good
yeah.
version.
Yes.
And it somehow worked as a satire. You know, it had like characters, Miss Musso, like her lackey guy, Coob, or whatever his name was. There was a lot of stuff that was kind of cool about this show, and I'm surprised like nobody ever even thinks about this show anymore.
I brought it up not long ago, but yeah, it's
One
not a show
time-
that gets talked about too often.
One time, this is true. This happened to me a really long time ago. I don't remember when. This is like years ago. I
Mhm.
tweeted something that I guess a lot of people saw the tweet, and I looked and there was like a like, and it was, I believe it was like Corin Nemec. I think that was his name.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I'm just like, when I saw it, I'm like, oh, that's probably somebody that watched like Parker Lewis and chose that name. And then I
Mhm.
clicked on it, and it was actually him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was really him. And I think I responded, and I said something, or I don't know if he had his DMs open. I don't know what it was, and I wrote like I tried telling him I used to love Parker Lewis growing up, and he never got back to me. So
I don't know if a lot of those celebrities even check their messages or anything.
maybe
Yeah.
he doesn't. I mean, who cares, right? You know, I mean,
Mhm.
I don't think that it would have mattered to him one way or another, but I really did like the thing. But I had like a reverse thing. Once I don't know if he's still online, but
Mhm.
once I posted something about the show Wise Guy and how it was an important show in TV history because it really opened people's minds to like doing arcs, seasonal arcs, and like different ideas that didn't quite exist before. It kind of inspired a new generation, you know, into the 90s, 2000s. Like a lot of people use Wise Guy as sort of a reference point. And it's considered like groundbreaking for its time. So I wrote a post about it, and then suddenly I looked, and it was like the guy that's the star of it, who became a recluse, he liked it. And then I saw him, and I followed him, and he followed me back. Apparently, I don't know, that guy was like huge, like really big at the time, Ken Wall, and I'm probably telling this story wrong. I don't know. I don't want to just tell stories. I don't know. He got injured. He had some kind of injury where he injured his neck, and I think that it caused him problems maybe for many years. I don't know. Maybe it ended his career. I don't know what his medical situation is now. I don't think anybody's seen him in public in many years. He was great on that show, though.
Wow.
So yeah. And then just to show you that people like maybe they think, oh, this guy like blows smoke up our asses. Then I want to show everybody something.
Come on, do it. Show it.
See, it says I'm following, and it says follows you.
Ken Wall.
There isn't like a new picture of him. I wonder what's going on with him.
Maybe he's just older. Wants to think back to the golden days. Wants to be living in the young times.
Oh, he seems to be like more right-leaning and not a fan of Gavin Newsom.
Gavin Newsom is
help
a
hero
piece of
vets with shelter
garbage.
pets.
Hey guys,
Which explains why he probably doesn't get much work.
Yeah,
But
most
the
of them
question
don't,
is-
unless you're like a Sylvester Stallone, Kurt Russell type.
It says, proud American, no hero, played a few, Golden Globe, ex-actor, director, writer, retired, Ford Apache, Wise Guy, Purple Hearts, Wanderers. Yeah, he was in Wanderers. That's a Philip Kaufman movie, I believe. Vet Advocate. Yeah, so I don't know. I actually, like, if he ever answered, I'd invite him to the Night Owl. He could hang out with us.
Yeah, hey, I can reach out and hey, I'm not Price of Reason, but I sound like Price of Reason. And you should come on the Night Owl sometime. It'd be a really good show. I think you'd have a great time.
Mr. Ken Wall, if you're listening, then you're invited to the Night Owl. I doubt that he's listening, though.
Mur Rockstro over on Rumble. He's thrown in or some of the quotes for the episode that you can't find.
Oh, okay.
The episodes you can't find from Quantum Leap.
Let me see if I can share this.
Come on, get it up.
So they asked us to use they and them instead of he or she, which is really binary. Binary, like spy code, yes. Yeah, he's basically explaining to some lady in the 50s that she actually is gender neutral and now she can say she's non-binary and all this other nonsense. And it's just like, I couldn't describe, even with him transcribing it,
Yeah.
I can't describe what cringe it is. Like the cringe that I saw on that show is like some of the cringiest cringe ever. Probably more cringe than you've seen like on Star Wars, on Star Trek. Well, Star Wars, there's the Acolyte, so I don't know. I don't know if it beats that, but very cringy.
This is some pretty cringe shit about like that one show where, what was it? Where they were dying of being misgendered or whatever it was.
Oh shit!
What's that show now? I'm trying to remember. Anyway,
I don't know.
Well, I just showed you a clip from Quantum Leap, and they were dying. They did the misgendering.
Yeah.
They weren't dying from being.
That I'm getting it
misgendered.
flip flopped with something else, but yeah.
If you in the 1950s, if you go around telling people no, you have to call me they and them, that's going to be a real quick trip to the insane asylum.
Yeah,
you
no
can
kidding.
go down and hang out with all the people who are saying they're President Lincoln and all the other people who are saying that they're Napoleon. Just go hang out with them.
Yeah, no kidding.
I wish I could find that clip. It annoys me. It annoys me that I can't, but what can I do?
What can you do but get it up, get it up, get it up? I want you, Price, to get it up now. I want you, Price, 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 get it up.
I'm still trying to find it, but every time I search, I can't. I don't know. That just shows you how unpopular the show is, that nobody even just clipped it to make fun of it. I do think that somebody had it on Twitter at some point, but I don't know how to find it.
Yeah, shite happens, man. Shite fucking happens.
It does. By the way, what were the top?
What else we got to? I think we were going to talk about all the people burning down Teslas.
Oh, right.
Oh, dude.
Sorry, guys. We went off the...
Yeah, we went off a really unusual tangent.
There is absolutely nothing unusual about that.
No, on this show, things just happen. Let's see, Elon. Tesla.
We haven't talked about rock stars who died of autoerotic. No, wait, we did. We actually did.
Autoerotic
asphyxiation. Yeah. So we have not gone as far off the reservation as has happened in the past.
Oh man, too fucking funny. Oh man,
I'm trying to find.
dude.
Do you have like good footage from the?
Oh goodness,
terrorism thing.
Gosh, let's see.
I mean, there's something about this. Like,
but
let's put it this way: Trump was, whether you like him or not, he was democratically elected. He got the popular vote, the electoral college, Congress, Republican, House of Representatives. Basically, this is what people voted for. I mean, this always annoys me that the people that are trying to quote unquote save democracy are the ones that are the first in line to not accept when democracy is happening.
Always. That's what they do, man. They don't mean half the shit that they say. They really don't. They just say it because it's convenient to their argument at that point in time. But they'll flip positions. The sliver of a moment it inconveniences them. That's their thing, is they like convenience to their arguments. But as soon as the flaw comes out, if they have to change and cave, they will.
Okay, this is I think this is part of it at least. Let me try to share this.
Share it, get it up.
Getting it up, Nick.
Hey, I'm waiting for you.
Oh gosh, a Tesla Cybertruck is on fire. All right. There's a fleet of Cybertrucks right now. Unbelievable. Seattle fire on the scene. You gotta get off the spot. Breaking news. I'm sorry? Get off the spot. All right, you've got dozens of firefighters now putting out flames on the Cybertruck. Absolutely insane. Look, you still see flames right underneath the Cybertruck.
Yeah, I got news for you. That water ain't going to do anything.
As you can see, there are several other Cybertrucks just parked here.
So is it arson or what's going on?
Oh, yes. Yeah, there's
neighborhood
numerous attacks
here in
now
Seattle, Monday evening. Seattle
on
fire,
Tesla
on the scene, right across the
dealerships.
flames on the Cybertruck. Not clear how this all started, but again, with everything that's happening in America right now, with anti-Elon Musk hate, all the protests and incidents of vandalism, it appears to be arson.
Chief, how much do you want us to wait for all the investigation to start?
Does this look like arson, sir?
We got our investigator on the way.
Is this the only vehicle that caught fire this evening?
Still trying to keep the bottom. Okay. We've got about 4 vehicles involved at this point.
Got it. All right. Thank you so much. All right. There you have it. Seattle Fire saying there are actually several vehicles involved in this. Right now, I just arrived at the scene. It is a Cybertruck that is totally torched. SFD putting out some of the hotspots right now, but apparently there's some other vehicles that have been torched as well in this Tesla parking lot. I'm going to try to get closer right now, but I'm being advised to kind of stay back. This is private property. It looks like this fence against this new inventory only. So these appear to be brand new.
Wow.
And that's, I guess,
Why does that guy sound like Seth MacFarlane? Who is it?
And that's why we got this today.
Here's a.
Hello, President Trump. Are you looking to buy or lease today?
Well, I'm going to buy.
I'm going to buy a car.
Number one, it's a great
A
product.
nice car.
As good as it gets.
It's a great car.
And he's devoted his energy and his life to doing this. I think he's been treated very unfairly by a very small group of people. And I just want people to know that you can't be penalized for being a patriot. And he's a great patriot. And he's also done an incredible job with Tesla. And I mean, nobody else has a car company started up in the last 30 years that's been successful. I don't think so. And not only successful, but super successful. And because he's able to find billions and billions and billions of dollars of fraud and waste and all of the things. I mean, our country is going to be very strong very soon because of a lot of the things that he's done and a lot of the things that I'm doing. And there's no better team, but there's no better for what we're doing. There's nobody like this, and he shouldn't be penalized. And when I watched the other day, I said, I can't believe it. It should be the opposite. People should be going wild, and they love the product. But because he's finding all sorts of terrible things that have taken place against our country, they want to penalize him in an economic sense. And I just think that's very unfair. So I just wanted to make a statement. I'm going to buy one. Now, here's the bad
I'm not used to this Trump speed talk. It's
I
weird.
haven't driven a car in a long time, and I love to drive
Oh, I
cars.
did it quicker.
But I'm going to have it at the White House, and I'm going to let my staff use it. I'm going to let people.
So this was like what it
place
was like
use
when he
it,
was doing coke.
and they all are all excited about that. I'm not allowed to use it. Can you believe it?
Allegedly.
One of my great things in life is that I can, I like to drive cars, but I'm not allowed to.
And then he actually gets into the car, no?
What I don't want, but that's
The great policy, as a function of the great policies of President Trump and his administration, and as an act of faith in America, Tesla is going to double vehicle output in the United States within the next 2 years.
a
Double.
big deal. That's great. Thank you. And by the way, he likes one car. This one I don't understand. This one I don't want, but that's okay. Without a steering wheel, it comes out next year, right?
Yeah.
Explain that.
Yes. The Cybercab starts production in Texas next year, and it's self-driving. We have so much confidence in the self-driving nature of it that it'll actually not have a steering wheel. It will not have pedals. It'll either self-drive or not drive at all, but it'll self-drive.
And I'm going to pass on that particular.
As a function of
There's also something where he gets into the car. There's this
Mm-hmm.
I gotta give it to them. They really do feel like there is a genuine bromance between those two. Like I don't like. Could you call it the first? Like okay, if Melania is the first lady and Usha Vance is the second lady, is he the first friend? Seriously, like that is a fucking bromance, man. I'm sure even Melania's like, you bros love each other. And I can see JD Big. I'll let those guys hang over. I'm gonna go be VP over here. You guys clearly got something going on. I'm not gonna interfere on. You guys are Rocky and Apollo. I'm just Mickey.
This is him getting into like a Tesla.
This is a different panel than I've had. Everything's computer.
Everything's computer.
It was really funny. But you know what? Trump did his thing. He showed support. I think it's fair enough.
No, it is fair. It's funny too because he's trying to learn the car. Like, oh, okay, so this is how this works. Okay, cool. He's learning new tricks. It's nice to see late in life. Learning the new tricks. These are great tricks. Some might say they're even the best tricks. I'm just saying. Oh, Donald. Never change. Seriously. What a freaking dude, man. It's
So there
good,
was
man.
also-
Good.
This thing was also interesting. I'll do a little bit more speed just to.
It's one example of
Here.
many. And I don't believe in cancellation. I don't believe in cancel culture. And I know maybe it's not going to make up a difference, but you know what? After I drove my friend's Tesla, I went and I already picked out the one I want. It's called the what is it called? The S-Plaid. And do you realize this thing, an electric vehicle, has 1,006 horsepower and goes from 0 to 62 in 2.0 seconds. And this thing rips, and you can go about 400 miles without a charge. And I don't drive enough to go further than 400 miles, so I'm good. And maybe it's just a gesture on my part, and I like it. I like new technology, but it's just a way of saying, look what they're doing to this guy. Look what they're. It's one example of many. And
So Sean Hannity actually bought one, and then he exchanging tweets with him or whatever.
Elon Musk is leading Doge, and he's losing money in the process. He's not doing this to make money. He's losing it. And you could see now, all these attacks have led to the demonization of him, and it's hurting his business. And his important work for the Trump administration is bad for business. And Tesla stock is down. His companies and products are under constant attack, all because he is daring to expose waste, fraud, abuse, and auditing the federal government. Elon Musk is leading.
Yeah, that's definitely, it is crazy how he's definitely got his hands full between that. Let's not forget he has 1,900 kids, and he also owns Twix, even though Linda Yaccarino he has as the CEO of the company, but still, he's still the end-all, be-all guy at the end of the day. The buck stops with him, for better and worse. So it's clear he's got a lot on his hand for him to be involved with Doge. And I think it doesn't help that obviously Vivek is now running for governor instead. So it would have been a little bit easier for him to manage to have the load of the two split, but it's just a sole effort. He needs a second body there to replace Vivek to help with the load.
The thing is, I think that Elon he has his own vision and probably the way he wanted to do stuff. That's probably why it didn't work with Vivek. Unfortunately,
I thought he did because he stepped down from to run for governor, because he announced a few days ago his run for governor.
Yeah, I mean, he announced that he's running for governor, but I wonder if there wasn't first of all a rift between them of sorts. And then Vivek said, I'm going to run for governor, because initially I think they were supposed to both run it. But I think that Elon Musk has like a very, he's kind of an eccentric guy and he has his own way of running things. And I think that.
Well, I did see him communicate recently on social media, so I don't think there is a rift. I mean.
Did you hear somebody just talk now?
Yeah, I'm
No.
sharing a video for when you get
Okay,
past
so
it.
let me shut down this thing.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, this is one I was sharing here. So this is some of the quote unquote grassroots action that's being taken against Tesla.
Armed with a pickaxe and sledgehammer in Seattle's Soto neighborhood, these two fellas went to town on this Tesla. The car was left in shambles with shattered windows, massive punctures, and tons of anti-Elon Musk graffiti.
We don't like what Elon Musk is doing.
This man would only give me his first name,
Greg, sorry.
but says he actually owns the white Model S.
I bought it just to destroy it.
And Greg says he coordinated the stunt with his friends because he doesn't like Musk.
Tesla supports fascists. Let's keep that stock going down.
This is all part of a grassroots movement called Tesla Takedown. Some are trying to sink the electric vehicle maker's stock price and ruin anything associated with a controversial CEO.
They're getting wealthy at the taxpayer expense.
All this animosity and relentless nationwide protests come in response to Musk's handling of President Trump's Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE. We're also seeing a lot of upside-down U.S. flags here today. He's cutting entire federal agencies and the jobs that come along with it. And some people have even resorted to criminal activity to hurt Musk.
Oh my gosh, a Tesla Cybertruck is on fire.
Late Sunday evening, fire crews battled flames shooting out of several Cybertrucks in this Tesla storage lot.
Does this look like arson, sir?
We got our investigator on the way.
Dang. Look at this.
At this point, the cause remains under investigation. But with all the Elon hate, there is concern it could be arson. Seattle police and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives are investigating.
You bought it to destroy it? Yeah.
The inferno was just minutes away from this Tesla bash session.
Why are you wearing masks outdoors?
But just to be clear, none of these protesters have been accused of having anything to do with the destruction of those torch Cybertrucks.
I'm not talking to you.
Greg is just trying to tell his story. That's it. Why is everyone afraid suddenly?
It's
So,
strange
yeah.
that somebody would invest money in a car just to break it. It almost seems like, I'm not saying somebody else gave them the money to do it, but it's very fishy.
Well, somebody
I
else
don't
gave the
get
money to
what
do
I
it.
don't get with the car is not. It's I guess outside the mice because at the end they whatever it's his money. What I don't understand is now all of a sudden they hate this vehicle just because he is not aligned with the people he needs them to be aligned with. Like what happened to being invested into that car for the, let's just say, social cause of the environment? So now the environment doesn't matter anymore because the guys
Exactly.
vote for you.
Yeah.
Were you ever actually about the environment, or
No,
or
they were
were
about
you
virtue
grifting
signaling.
too?
They were about virtue signaling. That's it, Nick.
Yeah,
That's all.
that's so. It's like so much for all that talk about like actually trying to be a good Samaritan, whatever that means nowadays. You don't even believe that shit.
They're trying to be part of the solution, not part of the problem, Nick.
The fuck.
So yes,
Oh,
Elon Musk is identified. It says he's identified a number of groups that were funded by Act Blue, which of course is a huge Democratic money laundering system. It's been accused of all sorts of stuff that was done illegally. People that had their credit cards charged 50, 60 times in a day. The maximum amount they could give at a time. And, then investigative reporters chased him down, said, "Did you do this?" And they're like, "No, I didn't give any money to Act Blue ever." Or maybe I donated I did donate once, but I didn't donate 50 times. So there's all sorts of other fishy stuff about Act Blue that eventually is going to come out. They were doing stuff like they would take credit card numbers, but they don't require the CCV off the back to verify that credit card is actually being used by its owner. It's wild. All the stuff that Act Blue was able to get away with, and hopefully soon they will not be getting away with that kind of stuff. But yeah, a bunch of these have been traced back. A bunch of these different groups that have been protesting Teslas and stuff have been tracked back to funding from Act Blue. So democratically funded, yes.
What's this? This is that Stan Lee trailer.
Yeah.
All right.
32 flavors of Nick Weiser, as you see here.
Yeah, right?
Or I should say.
My name is John Bullerjack, and for the last 4 years of Stanley's life, I was his assistant, his confidant, but most importantly, his friend. I traveled the world with him, witnessing firsthand the incredible highs of his legendary career, but also the heartbreaking lows. Stan spent his final years enduring mistreatment, manipulation, and betrayal at the hands of a few very bad actors.
Is there any way to get us out of the San Francisco thing? Or do you feel we gotta do it? Gotta do it.
At the time, I didn't have the power to stop it, but I did have a camera and I filmed everything.
Whoa, watch out!
Now I'm asking for your help to finish the film and finally get justice for Stan. This documentary includes firsthand accounts from key witnesses, including comic book legends like Rob Liefeld and Roy Thomas, as well as many others who saw the chaos and unethical acts. This isn't speculation, it's all on camera. Undeniable.
This is old Stan Lee coming at you. No, you're not old.
Irrefutable.
I thought I was finished, but apparently I'm not.
No ambiguity. With your help, we can finish the film, expose the truth, and give Stan the justice he deserves.
He's going to be on Gary Neurotics Nooner tomorrow.
Oh yeah, this is where I got it. I saw it.
That's where this will take off. There's no way something like this won't take off. Yeah, I had heard some stuff too, funny enough, I guess you could say through the grapevine back in like 2018. And I didn't know whether to believe it or not, but I did hear some odd rumblings that Stanley was being mistreated.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, I hope that that's not true. And now here we are 7 years later, and yeah, it seems like it's a reality. And if there's any comic people in the chat like me, I'm aware that Stan had his issues with Steve Ditko, Larry Lieber, Jack Kirby when he was a youngin', but that has nothing to do with the situation here. So whatever opinions we may have of Stan as far as how he worked with his Marvel cohorts on the creative side of things, what's going on here was he was done dirty as far as how he was as a guy trying to live his last days. This is seriously not okay, and I'm terrified of what we're about to find out, but I also know we need to find out what it is, because now I want justice for Stan in that regard. And yes, we should still get justice for the Kirbys and Ditkos as well, because they were just as essential to the Marvel characters, in some ways far more essential than Stan was. But at the moment, this is about Stan.
Well, quickly, I just want to say, I usually mention this at some point. If you're new to this stream or channel or whatever it is, whatever platform you're watching on, please make sure to like and follow or subscribe or wherever you're at. And yeah, just wanted to throw that out there. Nick, I know you have to leave soon, so I don't want to.
Yeah, I should probably head out pretty soon too.
All right, that's
Long
cool.
afternoon.
I know you guys have your morning thing, and Nick, you have to do stuff in the morning.
Yeah.
So obviously, thank you guys so much. And if you're not subscribed to 32 Flavors of Nick Weiser, you should do that. On Rumble, it's just Nick Weiser, and you should absolutely subscribe.
Thank you, Price. Appreciate that, dude. No, it's been fucking awesome doing the Metaverse 3-way crossover. We crossed the streams, transitioned together between me, you, and Tom 3 times tonight. I feel like I've come full circle, and we got through all 3 acts together. So it was a very gratifying experience. We got Professor R2 for acts 1 and 3 as well. So he was there for the initial setup and the payoff as well. So we hit it and quit it together. So it was seriously, it's been fun doing this, and I'm glad we do this. And I would definitely not be opposed to a Metaverse crossover down the line when our bodies gotta get ready for part 2. The amount of Red Bull I had tonight, I think my brain is like, okay, Nick, you've been up since 5:30 a.m. It's time to time to go to bed now. I've been up for like almost 20 hours now. But seriously, thanks for having me. Please come up, check out my channels on YouTube or Rumble Chat. Other than that, have a great rest of your evening. Enjoy the rest of the show with Price and Professor R2.
And same, well, you all know Tom, but of course, if for any kind of reason you're not subscribed to Midnight's Edge After Dark, Mead Radio, then you should certainly do that now.
Indeed. Love you all, and thank you
All
for having
right.
me.
Good
This was
night,
a lot of
guys.
fun.
Thank you.
All right, I'll see you guys later.
Thanks for being here.
Leave the regulars to their show.
We're still staying, but the professor and I are still staying.
Yeah, stick around, kids.
Yeah.
We're not shutting down. We're just you understand. This is a send off for our two friends here.
Take care, guys. Have a great night.
Bye.
Take care, Tom.
Okay, and let me just remove Nick, and then we're back.
Yeah, I figured out my avatar being blurry.
What happened? How did it happen?
There was some weird crossing the stream stuff. It was because when I first came on, it kept wanting to jump back to my webcam on my computer, and the defaults on that have like blurred backgrounds and stuff, and so it was like blurring my OBS avatar, my OBS virtual camera, because it thought it was a background. It was weird. Strange
Nice
stuff. So yeah, all sorts of stuff acting up tonight.
We do have a really nice. Some of the figures here are a little blurry with our thing, but we have a really nice audience listening to us cross-platform today.
We got 93 with us over on Rumble. 94.
It's already 95. It's 96.
95. No, it's climbing.
It's climbing.
Yeah, we're glad to have you.
Yeah, I didn't look for a few seconds. Like I think we had like 100 there, and maybe like we were scratching the 50 on YouTube at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool. We certainly appreciate it and enjoy hanging out with you. Josh O'Calkin says, "Strip down panel." Well, this is our usual panel.
Yeah, this is the.
But sometimes it's nice to invite a few friends and just kind of just try different things. And today we had that whole crossover event.
Yeah.
High Price and Professor. Hey, David, how's it going?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess, have we gone over the subject that we even wanted to? What were you going to say? Okay, Donald Trump versus the illegals. I think we went over that. Elon Musk versus violent activist. I think we went over that too.
Yeah.
We did have, I feel like between our streams, we've probably discussed it today. But, just quickly, I just wanted to quickly tell you that Disney thing with Snow White and Rachel Zegler, I feel like there's nothing they can do to save it. It looks like such just desperation at this point.
Oh yeah, it is. It is going to be a failure for the ages. Usually these G-rated family. I don't know if it's. I would assume it's G. Maybe it's PG. I don't know. Usually these G-rated family movies, even from Disney, even these mediocre live action remakes, often make some real bank. They make some real money. This is going to be a huge flop. There have been people saying, oh, maybe it's not going to be so bad. Oh, what happened? Am I still here?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh.
But people wanted to get like a full view of me in space.
Yeah,
so
apparently virtual camera having trouble again. Hold on.
And
I
mean, I see these articles like how Disney Snow White remake became a $270 million headache. I think that they probably spent more than $270 million.
That is very likely. Yeah.
Like marketing and the production and the reshoots, I think that this is one of those cases. Like now, they're going to try to play it down and say low numbers. 5 years from now, somebody will admit that this costs like $500 million to make, which means that it probably needs to make like 1.25 billion worldwide. And I think this is going to be a disaster. I think this is going to make less money than Little Mermaid.
Oh yeah, it will not make back even this fake 270 million budget. It costs well more than 270. I guarantee you. After all of the stuff that they've had to redo, they shot the film, and then they had all these actors that were playing the magical creatures or whatever, and then apparently they're no longer in the movie now. Or at least not as the central characters. Now it's these nightmare fueled quote unquote dwarves. I don't know what they're going to call them, probably just magical creatures. It looks horrifying, like I said, nightmare fuel. Kids are going to have nightmares after they see this. And they've redone all of that, and they've had all of these things that they've spent money on. They spent tons of money on marketing, spent tons of money on setting up premieres and stuff like that, and then they've canceled all these premieres. Guaranteed they have, with marketing thrown in there, this has to have pushed 400, maybe even 500 million.
David Costin said, "Hi, Price and Professor. You should rename the show That Really Annoyed Me." Oh, because we're always annoyed. Okay, got you. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that annoys me. What can I do? I wish that there was stuff that wouldn't. I'm saving a surprise for the professor about something stupid that we're going to talk about after this.
Oh no!
But yeah, I mean, we talked about it today also that there's. I know that Tom he left, but I mean he said something about how the article was relatively honest, but I actually felt that it wasn't so honest in the sense that maybe he's not the one, the person that wrote this. See, there was an article in Variety, Disney scales back Snow White Hollywood premiere amid Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot controversies. I feel like this is a new angle that maybe the article doesn't really emphasize this, but at least when it comes to the headlines, they're going to try to pin this like also on Gal Gadot because they don't want all the blame to go on Zegler. Because if the blame goes on Zegler, is that their DEI thing they were pushing wasn't good, and somehow they made like Rachel Zegler the poster girl for their DEI, which was a big mistake, and now they just keep doubling down. We were talking about before how they never admit their mistakes, especially the mainstream media and their crap. They're just doubling down, tripling down. They decided that Rachel Zegler is some inspiring beacon of diversity, and it doesn't matter if she's not a nice person, doesn't matter if she's rude and bratty and behaves in an obnoxious way. They have to keep just to sticking to the script because they can't admit that maybe they said something and that something wasn't true.
Yep.
So now I guess it's Gal Gadot's fault that this movie is a disaster, which, I mean, honestly, I really don't know why they cast her in this movie, Gal Gadot. You needed a very beautiful, forget about the diversity, you needed a very beautiful actress to play Snow White. One that you would look at her and say, okay, wow, I understand why the queen is jealous. But in this case, it just doesn't work. She how do I explain this? Rachel Zegler, as opposed to what people may think or not think, I'm not saying that she looks awful, but she looks rather like average or above average a little bit. But she's not like a stunning beauty in that sense. I don't think.
Not at all. No.
Like, personality aside, if like you were walking down the street or like, at a bar and like she sat next to you and she never said a word, because I think if she said a word, that would be bad. But if she never said anything and just sat next to you, you think, okay, maybe she's cute, but that's it. It's not like, it's not like the mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all type of situation.
No, and she definitely doesn't fit with the fairest being, the whitest, purest skin, that was kind of implied by the original title of the story when it was written a few hundred years ago. It's not even close. And no, not only is she just, I mean, she's not ugly, but she's just okay looking. And then, I mean,
Yeah, I
she's,
mean, basically, if
you can't separate the personality from her,
no, she has a
and her personality is
terrible,
grating.
terrible.
It's
She
infuriating.
it's rare. It's rare that you have somebody that like exudes such a negative vibe that makes you just not especially like her. But I guess what I'm saying is, I mean, right now I'm like a middle-aged man. Uh, you know, I'm not suggesting I'm not like in my youth or anything like that. But I'm saying like if I'm in like my 20s or 30s and like and let's say she didn't have this rotten energy and I meet her at a bar or something, she probably seems fine. But it's just like, there's a difference between, you're just an average dude talking to some lady and like you're going to the big screen to see some glamorous thing, this Snow White thing, which obviously the casting isn't right to begin with. But, even the idea that she's like the most beautiful woman just kind of doesn't work here, especially with Gal Gadot as the queen. I wonder who sat in these meetings and thought of this stupid idea. Like the teams, the marketing teams that sat in these board meetings thinking of this stupid movie, they have to be some of the biggest idiots ever.
It's it's just such a bad idea. Not only is it just totally disrespectful of the original film, right? It's they want to try and remake it their own way. They want they want to, oh well, we're gonna have our cake and eat it too. We're gonna have everyone come in and see this beloved film, an absolutely iconic film that launched Disney as the brand that it is today. That happened because the original Snow White was such a huge success. And there was an enormous amount of work, talent that went into making that original film. We're gonna build on that and make it this woke, awful identity politics, girl boss garbage, so that we can try and push the message with this film. It's a Frankenstein. It's a mess. I don't think anyone wants to see this, genuinely.
So you have Istophobo says they look to have bleached her skin. I don't know if they bleached it, but at least for these photos, they kind of lit her in a more light way.
Yeah. There's all kinds of stuff you can do with grading the colors and stuff after the film.
Her voice is powerful, but she knows how to sing. But I don't know. Even when somebody sings, you kind of feel their energy. There isn't an energy here that I personally connect to. Rob Altus says she turns me off completely. Whalem03 says she's not ugly, but the personality destroys her. I take a 4 with good energy. Rob Nutskublov says, who's the middest of them all? Yeah. I don't know. The film Splice. I don't even know what they're talking about. I lost them. But yeah, so that's that situation. I just think this movie is hopeless. I don't see Disney making back their money. And at this point they're just scaling back. They're just like, screw it. We won't do the press things. We won't let them interview. We won't do screenings. I almost feel like at this point they know this thing is a flop. The idea now is already not to make as much money as they can, even though they know it's a flop, and to control the media enough to push some kind of narrative of like controversy and that these ladies cause problems for them, which is also crap because it's mainly Zegler that did, but they're already laying the groundwork. I feel like they're laying the groundwork to explain this failure. They're not going to admit to the numbers until 5 years from now. They're going to say that it was important for representation, and a lot of people, like they did with the Little Mermaid, that until now they're like, it's so great that so many little girls were inspired.
Yeah,
It's like
They are 100% in damage control mode already. They know this is going to be a disaster in the box office. It's going to be on Disney Plus by 1st of May. I'll bet you $20. $20 says.
No, you're probably right. I mean, I think that would be a reasonable place that it would be.
First week of May, it's going to drop on Disney Plus because it's the theaters are just going to reject this film, and so they're going to have to do something with it. So they'll pay themselves from one pocket into another and say, "Oh, well, we sold it to Disney Plus for all this money, so look, we made our money back." Yeah, bull crap. We not buying it.
Not buying it either. Basically, by the way, once again, if you haven't subscribed and followed, you should do that, and like the stream. Really helpful. So if you haven't done that, you should do that. And now I have it's not really a treat, but I have something of a treat for you. Are you ready, R2?
Oh, great. Yeah, go for it.
Never see this coming. This is the stupidest thing. Okay?
I'll never see it coming.
I saw an advanced screening of a stupid movie. Of a rather stupid movie. I think it's stupid. But the whole situation was kind of, I don't want to say amusing, but it was kind of amusing. Let me see if I can find it. So let me see if I don't know if you've heard of this movie, but are you ready, Professor?
Hit me.
So I saw this
yes,
movie.
I have heard of this. Oh no.
So yeah, I went and
Yeah.
I had like an advanced screening thing. It's a really long story. I saw the movie, and it was very intriguing. It was an intriguing experience to watch this movie. Now, for those who don't know, this movie is called Magazine Dreams, and it stars Jonathan Majors. Jonathan Majors, there was like a moment in time where he was like going to be the next big thing in Hollywood, and everybody was behind this. The Marvel Machine. He was supposed to be Kang. All the mainstream media, the different things. He was like in one movie in some role, and they already put him on a pedestal. Like he's the best actor. He's from they were making it seem like he's the new, I don't want to say the new Denzel Washington or something, but they were really building this guy up. And the truth is, he is no Denzel Washington to begin with. But in addition to that, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania wasn't exactly a success. It lost money. And then you had that show Loki season 2 that he was on, and to be quite fair, he wasn't very good on that show. I felt that his acting wasn't very good. He wasn't good casting for Kang, in my opinion. So you had all of that. I will say that in the movie Creed with Michael B. Jordan, he did pretty decently in that one. I thought that his performance was pretty good there. So this movie was basically supposed to be the awards bait. Do you know what it's about, Professor?
It's about a bodybuilder, right?
Yes, it's about a bodybuilder, but basically this movie tries to kind of be like, I can tell that it was influenced by movies like Taxi Driver by Martin Scorsese, and the movie Falling Down maybe a little bit. It sort of had a guy that isn't he's a bit off and doesn't quite fit into society. Now, in this movie, though, as opposed to what those other movies were, this guy wants to be like the number one bodybuilder in the world, and he's almost like delusional. He wants to be like on magazines and things like that. In order to do that, he like injects himself with supplements, and even does recreational activities that are similar to Tony Montana. If you understand what I mean.
I see. Yes.
So he does a lot of stuff that's very unhealthy, and even doctors are telling him you should stop it, and it makes him even more lose control of himself and kind of go off the deep end, which makes him go into like violent fits of rage and things like that. And there's also this one bodybuilder that he's his hero, and he really wants to meet him, and there's this other thing going on with that. This movie, I'll tell you what I think about it. You know how Hollywood, we got for a number of years like these kind of agendas that they were shoving down our throats.
Oh, of course.
This movie, which initially was filmed in 2023 or filmed in 2022 and was supposed to come out in 2023, it was supposed to come out, as far as I know, just in time for award seasons. Now, we're in 2025 now. Think a little bit. It may seem like a long time ago or not such a long time ago, but trust me, 2023 was different than 2025.
Mhm.
This movie aims to sort of touch upon issues like Mr. Floyd and the Summer of Love.
Yes.
If you understand what I mean.
Yes, yes.
There's like a tip of the hat to that. There's like a lot of istophobia of like, he's diverse, so like the system is against him and everything is bad and all this stuff. And really they push those ideas very heavily. Even if I were to disconnect from that and just look at the story, as opposed to, let's say, the Taxi Driver and Falling Down, this movie, in my opinion, doesn't quite tell the same type of story. And the worst part is that it ends kind of just in the most lackluster and stupid way. And all I can say is it's a movie that wanted to do a lot of different things and to lecture you about a few different things, but in my mind, it's not a great movie. I will say, though, that out of all the performances that I've seen of Jonathan Majors to date, this was probably his best one. Because you could tell that he thought to himself that this would be the Oscar one. And you know what? With how stupid the Oscars are, they probably would have at least nominated him. I think that had this come out at the end of 2023 and they could have pat themselves on the back and boosted Jonathan Majors, which was what they were doing anyways, they would have, if nothing else, given him a nomination. Maybe more. But
Sure.
nomination they would have given him. And while I think that he does a decent performance here, for his best probably to date, I still think that at the end, it was a very depressing movie. I just sat there, it's like a bummer. And it's long, man. If it's like 2 hours and something, and yeah, I get it. He's upset and he's angry and whatever and whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, if you're asking me what I think, I don't highly recommend this movie. It's competently made enough. I guess it's sort of competently made. It's not like there's movies that I've seen that are worse than this movie. It's not like you can look at it and say, "Oh, it's not a movie." It's just one that, like, personally to my taste, I didn't enjoy it. And the other thing is, also, especially the third act, it kind of just leaves you with nothing. So it wouldn't get a stellar grade from me. I may do a review about it. I'm thinking about it, and I'll try to think what grade to give it. But maybe I'll give it a passing grade, but not like a very high grade, if you know what I mean.
Yep. Yeah, I do remember hearing about this movie. Obviously, when Jonathan Majors was having his troubles with the law, they were talking a bit about this, saying this, this was due to come out, like right around the time he started having his issues, and so they had to push it back, and I remember them talking about that. And yeah, at the time it sounded like it was absolutely some kind of Oscar bait. It was award bait, and yeah, I'm not surprised to find out that's the case. It never looked like anything that was interesting to me. Honestly, I've never been that impressed with Jonathan Majors in anything I've seen.
No, he's. I'll tell you what. He is not the type of actor that you put him in a movie and I'm like, okay, I got to stop what I'm doing. I got to go see this movie. He's not that type of actor. He's at best a character actor. If you want to know where I thought that he was used best, it was in the movie Rocky 3, where like Michael B. Jordan is the main guy. And he's just like, Jonathan Majors went to the gym. He's kind of like a jerk and like an adversary. I thought that was fine. He did fine in that role. I thought that like his acting was actually pretty decent in that. That's probably the best use of like Jonathan Majors. But to make him like, this guy that's like the pedestal that they put this guy on was not justified. And in
No.
this movie, I mean, basically, I don't know how to say this now because I want to carefully navigate I want to be careful how I say this, but let's put it this way. The movie stars a diverse man who goes to the gym has a lot of muscles, takes supplements which make him very angry and makes him do kind of violent things. And
Angry supplements. Yes.
right, and the thing is that I mean, I don't know what happened with that lady and with that trial and all that stuff. I'm not a big expert in that whole case, but it seems like the guy that he's playing on screen, at least based on like what people said he did, it's not very far from reality. You know what I'm trying to say? Like
From the actual him, yeah,
right.
yeah.
It's like an art imitates life situation. There's like a part here. He has like a date, and this woman is kind of scared of him, and she leaves. And I'm like thinking to myself, like this is kind of eerie because supposedly that's what they said he was like. Now I don't know. I honestly, that whole situation that he got himself into trouble, I do have a bit of empathy because I don't understand exactly what happened there. I admit that I maybe I don't understand and something bad happened, but the only footage I saw was like he was running away from some woman, which is a strange thing in and of itself. Do you remember that there was like footage of him running away?
Yes. Yeah, it was all a very strange situation.
It was a very strange situation. There's a part of me, I didn't think he was as good as actor as Hollywood made him to be. I thought that he could be an okay character actor in certain roles, but you know what? It's not that I watch somebody getting torn down and I enjoy it. So when I looked at whatever I saw from that trial, it seemed like, I don't want to say it seemed flimsy. Maybe people had information that I didn't have, but I don't know if it deserved that he would ruin it, like get his whole career ruined over it. They didn't need to make him the number one person in Hollywood because I don't think he is, but I also don't know that they needed to ruin his career. But that's how Hollywood is. Hollywood, they'll put you on a pedestal, but if you don't do exactly what they want you to, they'll remove you from that pedestal and throw you away very quickly.
Yes. Yeah, they will.
You'll be the first to go. Like if they were peddling you and you didn't play by their book, you're done. Like the Emilio Perez actor, like Ezra Miller. They were at some point a beacon of diversity and I don't know what and LG and whatever you want. And the second that somebody says something that they don't like, they're out of there.
Yeah. Hey, before we get too far, Istophobos has gifted 5 Price of Reason Live memberships over on YouTube. So,
Istophobos, that was
thank
very
you,
kind of you.
Istophobos. Yeah.
I actually, I don't know if I'm allowed to say because he sent me a DM, so I won't say it. But he sent me an interesting DM while we were talking now, and I looked at it.
Yeah.
So I got your DM, Istophobos. But it's not my information to tell. If he wants, he can tell it. So the bottom line, Magazine Dreams, I don't recommend it. Competent enough, not great. And Jonathan Majors, this won't save his career. I know that they tried. They tried a few articles I saw a while back. Me and you saw an article when they were like saying,
Uh-oh. Price disappeared on us. We're having a lot of trouble with Rumble Studio tonight. Oh, there's Price. Welcome back, Price.
welcome back.
Yeah.
So basically, what I was trying to say is that at the time, I could tell that they were doing damage control, and they tried to do a few articles that in clever ways presented him in a positive light, like, oh, he was in this Marvel thing, he was this, he was that. They really hyped him up in a few articles that I saw. And then recently, I even saw an article that Michael B. Jordan said that he really loved working with Jonathan Majors, and he would look forward to working with him again one day. And I honestly feel that was like a bro favor, that they really said, like, dude, please say that this guy is decent, so maybe a few people go see this movie. Initially it was supposed to be released, but it got dropped because like the distributor was like, I'm not touching this. And then and I assume maybe they had a moral clause, who knows. They said, I'm not touching this movie, so that deal went away. It took them like a really long time to find Briarcliff Studios, who said, okay, we'll release it. But honestly, I don't know what even Briarcliff gets out of it. I don't think that this thing is going to be a major draw. I don't think it's going to make a significant amount of money. And at the end of the day, it's not even such a good movie to begin with. But and I don't know how much we'll see of Jonathan Majors moving forward. So it's sort of a strange movie this is. Not to mention, the final thing that I wanted to say is because they waited so long until they released it, some of the agendas they were peddling really felt like, I don't want to say dated.
Yeah.
Dated for me, but like with the woke, trendy agendas that they have in Hollywood, it felt like a dated movie because like now they want to push a different, they have other flavor of the month agendas.
So this, I love this. So, there's the, about Black Lives Matter Plaza, right? You know about
Remind me?
this in DC?
Is that where they painted on the
Big yellow letters, 2 blocks
Yeah,
long.
they painted it, yeah.
And Black Lives Matter Plaza. And then in the past week or so, they have basically Trump came in and said this needs to go. Actually, first he said maybe we need to maybe we need to have a little bit more control over the city. The federal government should have more control over the city of Washington D.C. instead of leaving it all up to the mayor of the city. It's we should perhaps have a little more control over that. And so one of the first things that they did was essentially they said, let's we're going to get rid of that, we're going to get rid of this area. And so the mayor has now said, oh well, we're going to get rid of it. We were already planning to get rid of it, right? We were already going to get rid of this thing because whatever reasons, whatever, we were going to rename it for the 250th anniversary of whatever. And so do you remember seeing the trailer for Ironheart?
Yes, I do.
If I am not mistaken, and I wonder if I can pull it up real quick.
Do it.
I'm pretty sure there's a shot of her blasting off into into space or whatever with Black Lives Matter Plaza behind her.
That's funny.
And so if they put that out,
see if you could find it.
I'm gonna say, I got Marvel. I was looking for it and I kept finding, you look for something trailer, whatever, and all you find is like a bunch of like other people who've posted crap and called it their trailer. Let's see. Iron Heart. I was just thinking that will look incredible if that's, you know what I mean? Like if that's in the trailer.
If it is, it's great, but like by the time the show airs, they'll like delete that or something or CGI it out.
Yeah, they'll take out that shot. Let's see here. Let's see. I'll share this. Let's see if we can find it. Because they haven't released a full trailer for Ironheart, right? They've only released like little bits and pieces.
Yeah, and nothing they've shown is good.
No, that jumped to What If. Let's see. Where does the Ironheart stuff start?
I want to build something undeniable. Anyone who's ever accomplished anything,
this is going to feel so horribly dated. But
has had to do some questionable things to get it done.
Okay, so it wasn't in there. Let's see. Did they come back to it later? Wonder Man. Oh, geez. It's going to look terrible. Oh, I swear there was another trailer for it that showed like she blasts off and there's like BLM, Black Lives Matter stuff on the road behind her. I'm pretty sure it was supposed to be Black Lives Matter Plaza, but yeah, I'm not sure which video that was. Yeah, I'll have to see if I can find it later. But yeah, that's just so funny. Yeah, you're talking about things being dated by the time they come out. That show is going to be so dated. No one is going to give two shits. Sorry, Sean, about that show when it comes out. Had to get one. Sorry, Sean, in there tonight.
Yeah, no, I don't think anybody's going to take that show. The thing is that they've had it for a long time and they just keep kicking the can and they're not releasing it. And when you have a show so long and you don't want to release it, it means that it must be awful. That show must be like the bottom of the barrel.
Yep. They just can't find a way to kill it, right? They can't find a way to they can't find a way to not release it.
No,
to
it's at the point
Batgirl
of
it.
no return. They can't do it now, but with every one of these shows, they're damaging their brand even more, and maybe even they understand it now. This thing with Daredevil, imagine. Well, also, let's be honest. How many years did it take them to do this Daredevil thing? This was just so annoying. You had Netflix doing these shows. Season 4 was already in pre-production. Just let them do the season. Let them. You know what? I understand. Netflix, I guess, didn't like that Disney did the streaming. I really wish that a deal would have been worked out where Netflix continued. Maybe in their own way, Netflix, that was the big middle finger to Disney. By the time Disney figured out what they were supposed to do and finally wanted to pick up where Netflix left off, several years went by. Nobody even remembers what happened on that other show. Nobody wants Disney Plus because their shows aren't good. Nobody watches their MCU or Marvel shows. So yeah.
Yeah, nobody's watching. Yeah, that was the other big news this week with Daredevil getting really poor ratings. Oh, that's.
I feel bad. Did you watch the episode today?
I did watch today's episode. Yeah, I snuck that in while you guys were doing Crank.
Just so you know, I actually watched it as well.
Oh, okay.
I managed between the streams to watch the thing and then do Crank still. So yeah, I watched it.
All right. What did you think?
It was all right, I guess. It wasn't bad. I didn't sit there. I wasn't suffering. I thought it was somewhat okay.
Yeah, I didn't love it. No real spoilers here, but this week is basically just a courtroom drama. That's all you're getting for this week. There's no awesome fights, no.
No, there wasn't anything. I'll give you that. There wasn't really any action or anything going on.
Yeah, no action. It's just courtroom drama. Although I would say that the courtroom drama part of it was actually done quite well.
It was relatively decent. I didn't hate it. Okay. I mean, for me, Daredevil season 1, the Netflix one, that's like the top of the line for me. And I don't feel that this season, whatever this is, has hit those notes. But when I watch it, I don't suffer either. You know what I mean? I don't watch and think like, oh no, I can't believe I wasted my time watching it. I don't cringe every second either. I think that this is the best that Kevin Feige can do. Based on how annoying him and his team of activists are, this is the best that they can do. I don't know. I wonder what's going to happen over the next few episodes, and that'll help me decide how I feel about it. I'll be able to formulate a more, I'll be able to explain how I feel in a better way. But I need to watch more. But what I've seen until now doesn't repel me in a way that I won't watch it.
Yeah, I'm not saying at all that this was a bad episode at all. It's just it's kind of weird that there's just like this. There's not one show going on here. It's almost like there's two different shows. Of course, we know that they reshot a whole bunch of stuff, so it just felt like what we got during the first couple of episodes was very different from what we got in this episode. There was also a little bit of stuff in there with Kingpin and his wife again, like therapy and stuff. I could care less about that. I do not like that storyline at all.
No, I don't like it either.
It's worthless. It's pointless. The only thing it does is harm the character of Kingpin more.
I agree.
It
I don't like
harms
any of
Wilson
it,
Fisk's
and
character.
I could easily do without that stupid therapy. That is the main thing that annoyed me until now. Not the courtroom drama, but trying to make Kingpin look bad. I don't like that. But even so, I still have at least, interest in this thing.
Yeah.
I
It hasn't gone, woke. It hasn't gone to shit. Sorry, Sean. It's fine. Uh, in some ways, it's pretty good. It's kind of strange just how from one episode to the next, like the pacing and the type of
well,
story they're trying to tell
I think
is
that
very
as
weird.
opposed to what they said that they scrapped everything, I don't think that they scrapped everything. I think that they reworked some of what they had, and they I don't know how it's all gonna come together, but I feel like maybe they had this story planned and they added, Karen and Foggy later, and they just needed them at the beginning. I don't really know. I have a lot of questions, but I'll probably know more once we finish this season, and I'll be able to tell you more about what may have happened.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. Again, so far so good. I don't absolutely love the show. I don't hate it either. I know there's a lot of people who've had some pretty negative opinions about it, but overall, I think it's fine. But then again, I'm not going to be I'm not a huge Daredevil fan. I'm not maybe the audience to judge it the most harshly as some people have. So
Well, I really like the original series, and growing up, I did enjoy the comics as a kid. So I do like it, and I like the Netflix show. And until now on Disney, it's not flawless, and there are moments like you said with her, and with there's things to point out that maybe you can kind of make a comment on, but it hasn't been offensively bad until now. Even with some missteps, it hasn't been offensively bad, and it hasn't kept me from saying, okay, I'm willing to watch the next one. Like,
Mhm.
I actually, the next time there is one, I'll be happy to sit down and watch it. Until now, it's not terrible, but we'll see where it goes. I mean, I really think at the end of the season I'll be able to give a better opinion on it. But I don't hate what I'm seeing until now, even with its flaws.
Sure. Yeah. All
Uh,
right.
yeah, I mean, Kingpin's wife is better than him. Yeah, no, that's true. She's, like, better. She knows how to run the thing better than him.
She
She's
does.
better.
Yeah.
She's the best. So, I guess,
The best.
we talked about Trump, Elon, and the activist, Rachel Zegler. We talked about magazine dreams, even a little bit of Daredevil, and, Ubisoft. I just keep seeing things. When do they release their Assassin's Creed Shadows game?
Next week. Let's
That's
see.
it. That's, like,
Or
the
two
make or
two
break,
weeks.
for them, right?
I think so. Yeah. Well, I mean, make or break, but it's going to be break. March 20th, yeah, is when it's due out. But uh, a bunch of the quote unquote excitement over it's already gone because the game leaked, and so a bunch of people have already played it, or a bunch of people have already seen footage of it being played, and so I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of excitement for that one when it
But
gets
can that
released. On
company
top
even
of
even recover? Can they even recover from this whole situation?
I do not know if that's going to be possible. They have really dug a hole for themselves. We're talking about multiple different releases at this point that have been disastrous. They've just been terrible, and I don't know if financially if they're going to be able to recover without having uh some kind of other company come in that's going to be uh some other company coming in that's just going to bail them out, right? I think that's the only thing that could possibly happen. uh Otherwise, they're just going to go under. Right?
Well, sometimes I guess stuff like that
so
needs to happen.
Mur Rockstro over on Rumble, my hero. He was able to help me find it. It was not in its regular trailers that had been shared. It was in the D23 footage that some people had leaked. And so yeah, he helped me to find that. So here we go. Yep.
Wow.
Here she is blasting off with the Black Lives Matter.
I see it.
On the road behind her.
Wow.
That's gonna age like well, not like fine wine.
No, and now you know what? I wonder if they're actually going to keep this in or they'll have to delete it because now they look stupid.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean well, the whole show looks stupid. Let's just
Definitely. I feel like this show, they know this sucks. It's going to be a really embarrassing show.
Yeah. They're going to dump it all at once and they're going to hope everyone forgets about it as quickly as possible. Gosh, yeah.
Was there anything else you wanted to talk about?
No, yeah. Ubisoft is in a rough spot. They're dealing with some lawsuits as well against some of the upper people in the business. So there was one other thing that I thought I might mention.
By the way, Disney, they had a lawsuit for Moana, and apparently they want, I guess, the case against them for whoever said they stole Moana. Case was dismissed, I guess.
Oh, really? Okay. Now I had not
think
seen
so.
anything about that. So, where was this other story here? I'm gonna find it. I swear I'm gonna find it. Oh yes. Okay. Oh,
Just quickly, Disney.
Copyright trial. Okay. Yeah.
This is something new, I think. It's from yesterday. Sorry. Disney wins Moana copyright trial, but $10 billion sequel suit still riding the legal waves for now. It's interesting. What were you going to share?
Oh, so we were talking about gaming stuff, and I was trying to remember there was something else I was going to share. So, yeah, Neil Druckmann did an interview, did a podcast, whatever, and he was talking about like what is this, this new game that they're planning to launch, Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet. We've seen some trailers of it. They've talked about it in a few different ways, and it's been talked about on X quite a bit. It looks like just some awful woke thing. Of course, it's got a girl boss. She's shaving her head and everything. A lot of people have said, just no, thank you. We don't need any more Neil Druckmann girl bosses. But apparently, it's going to go even further than that. The focus of the game, he said when he was doing an interview with Alex Garland, the focus of the game is apparently going to be an examination of faith and religion. Specifically, he says, it takes place 2,000 years in an alternate future that deviates from the late 80s. And so he's saying that there's this alternate future. Well, this new religion that you find out about in the game showed up around that same time. And so it's been, incidentally, it's been 2,000 years since this religion was sort of founded, and now it's gone completely off the rails, and it's no longer holding to the original values that were part of that religion initially. So it's a very intentional takedown of Christianity. So I'm sure that's going to go over real well with a lot of people. Obviously, not going over well with John Trent, but
Well, I wouldn't expect it to go well with him.
Yeah, but not a lot of other people either. This is just one more thing. It's like he had if you remember from the Last of Us game, you discover a group of that appear to be a group of Christians, and of course they're cannibals, right? The only cannibals you really see in the game. Nope, were the Christians. They were the ones who were capturing people and slaughtering them for meat. So clearly not a fan of Christianity. So yeah, that's going to be the focus of his game. Once again, is going to be let's prove that Christians are the worst people out there. Let's talk all about that. So just one more
By
nail
the
in the
way,
coffin for this
did
game.
I mention that it's the? I think you said that it's the Phobos gifted 5
Gifted 5,
membership.
yes, yeah.
And we showed it too.
I didn't show it. I don't think you showed
Here,
it.
I'll show it. Thank you, Mr. Phobos. I really appreciate that. That's very, very kind of you.
Yeah.
He's also a member for 4 months.
Oh, there you
Yeah,
go.
I just wanted people to see that because he did it. Sometimes here at the Night Owl, we may do things slowly, but we do eventually get to them sometime.
Well, a bunch of stuff is not working like it's supposed to tonight. So that's
Yeah, it may not be at the time with the timetable that you expected, but at the end of the day, it does happen. And Mr. Phobos is a friend of the channel, and thank you so much, man.
Yeah, that was just the one other thing I had seen in the stories, gaming news and stuff today was all about that. So just one more nail in the coffin for this game that hasn't even come out yet. Apparently, it's going to be about faith and religion, and then most of the game is going to be about being lonely. Are you looking forward to playing a game about being lonely?
Nope.
Yeah, neither am I. Well, anything else, Bryce?
I'm trying to see if there was anything that we sort of forgot or didn't mention. I think there was just one thing that popped up that I didn't see before. What was it? I think, let me just check for a second. Give me 1 second to see if I can find this. So we have this thing
chat here. Yep.
Let me see if I can share it. So I guess Marco Rubio said that somehow they're restoring some kind of peace for Ukraine. Do you know anything about this? What's going on here?
Yeah, so there's been some ongoing negotiations. I saw something about that earlier today. Just a very brief story.
Here, there's this. Let's see if we
go
can
ahead.
hear.
Today, we made an offer that the Ukrainians have accepted, which is to enter into a ceasefire and into immediate negotiations to end this conflict in a way that's enduring and sustainable and accounts for their interests, their security, their ability to prosper as a nation. I want to personally we both want to thank the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, His Majesty, for hosting us, for making this possible. They've been instrumental in this process, and we're very grateful to them for hosting us here today. And hopefully we'll take this offer now to the Russians. And we hope that they'll say yes, to peace. The ball is now in their court. And but again, the president's objective here is, number one, above everything else, he wants the war to end. And I think today Ukraine has taken a concrete step in that regard. We hope the Russians will reciprocate. Today, we made an offer that the Ukrainians have accepted, which is...
So what are your thoughts about that?
Honestly, this is it's a good move forward. I've been hoping for this for quite some time. Clearly, it's long overdue that they tried to find some way to solve this conflict and solve it peacefully. The only outcome for Ukraine is to be conquered. I'm sorry. People who think the Ukraine can keep fighting it out forever, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. They do not have the resources. They do not have the manpower. They can keep fighting this forever, but in the end, they're not going to win it. They're not magically going to get back all the country that they had before. that doesn't mean Russia was in the right. I'm not saying that. They were wrong to invade the Ukraine. They were wrong to start this fight. But the fight, the killing, all the, you know, throwing drones and explosives and missiles and stuff at each other, throwing life after life away pointlessly, it has to end sometime. And hopefully this is the first step to really making that happen, in a sustainable way. If Ukraine is willing to find a way for peace, I have no doubt, absolutely no doubt, that Trump is going to be interested in finding ways for the U.S. not to just throw money at them for rebuilding, but to invest in their country to help them rebuild. And I think it can actually happen pretty quickly, and in a sustainable way, hopefully. But I don't know. We will have to wait and see exactly what Russia is going to say about this. Obviously, the ball, as he said, the ball's in their court now. They're the ones that are going to have to look at this and decide if they're going to be able to make up their minds. But I think this is the only path forward. Really is peace. And thankfully, now we have a president who's willing to lead the way, and an administration is willing to lead the way on that, rather than just continually just throwing money at Ukraine and thinking that was going to fix things.
Yeah, no, I don't think that was ever a good idea to begin with. But yeah, hopefully there's a way to stop whatever war this is. I guess stopping war is always better than having a war.
Yeah.
So yeah, that could probably be good. And yeah, I think we went through most of the topics of the day, and we did it in our own unique style and way.
Our own flair.
I guess now we just have to say goodbye to people.
Yeah. Well, my chat is absolutely not working on this end.
Yeah, I'll try. Let me try to. They're going to be. We had a lot of technical glitches today. There's going to be a lot of names that are not mentioned, and I apologize, but I'll mention whichever ones I have. I promise that next time, we'll be better about this. But we just sometimes there's names that people that were here that are not here now. Joshua Calkins, Whalem 03, Estephobos, Empress NM, Marlo Sharondoff. Robnut Skubla, Whalem 03. Let me see. Caleb Levine. Joshua Calkins, I think I said. Estephobos, I know I did. Whalem 03, Emerson M. Lasher. Void King. Oh, so that was on the...
Yeah, I do still have the Rumble up. So let's see. Davina Duckworth. Looks like Whalem. William. Corbin Dallas 420. Kivo 1961. Deeple 101, who also gave us a Rumble rant. So
Dude Bro Seth.
Let's see. Nick Weiser was over there. Of course, he was on the show as well. Dubrosef 420, Moroxtro, Hypno Crab, One Dirty Bird, Loyosh. Let's see if I got anybody else here. Folsom Lockdown hopped in just a little bit ago. Good to see you again, Folsom. And I think that's everybody who was.
I think I have a few other names. Rob Nutskubla, Rob Altus, Tim Hayes, Dr. Johann Kraus, PhD, Captain Palsy, the Dead Man, I believe I said, but it's okay. Moroxstra, David Costin. DJ Play Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we found additional ones here. We're like investigators today.
Let's see.
Caleb Levine.
Breeze Feats. Did you mention Breeze Feats?
I didn't see Breeze Feats. Jonathan Conroy.
Let's see, a few friends of the channel, Z3PO and Sammy Threepeat, got memberships from.
Yeah, but I don't even know if they were here. They're probably
no, they weren't here at all. It's just
it's funny, yeah. All right, well, I think we got most of the people, and under the circumstances, this is the best we could do. Well, I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us. It's been a great night when it comes to the chat and the internet interaction we had today. I also want to thank our guests that we had, Nick Weiser and Tom Connors Jr. from Midnight's Edge. Great to have them here. It really added a lot of kind of, interesting, another interesting angle to our show. We always like here and there having guests, and we try to do that when we can. And aside from that, I guess, do you have anything more to add, Professor?
Not tonight, man. It's been good hanging out with you once again. It's great having some guests on tonight, and good seeing everyone in the chat, both on Rumble and on YouTube. And hey, if you haven't taken the opportunity yet, if you'd mind giving us a thumbs up, giving us a like on the video, and then if you haven't already, if you would follow the channel on Rumble or subscribe over on YouTube, we would really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Empress and M said, I missed most of the pizza. I don't even know what she's talking about. But okay. You all have a good night. We'll see you here on Thursday.
Yeah.
See you on Thursday, 11:45 p.m. Eastern. We'll see you then.
All right. Take care, everyone.
Bye.